The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep a spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs to bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Blood and bone and soul. Say it loud. With a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our slave. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. 'Cause where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value's in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and plant a poison, a suffocating weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. No tech division, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life, addicted to the feed. Ignore the hunger, the fundamental need. They love your vitals on the digital stage, putting the future artists in a ritual cage. Now they're gonna break the cycle. Gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human. Loud and blown and soul. Yeah. Everyone got a right to be loved. Got the right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our story. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. Where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. The other hateful whispers in the loaded gun. You will build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the curb. And love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering word. A word of action, breaking leather chain. A word of power, washing out the pain. It ain't a feeling, it's a verb. It's what you do for me, for them, for us, for you. 'Cause they just a track, just a call to action for every mother, father, every single fraction of the unity, holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, tell her that they matter. Tell them their spirit, something that don't lie and shine. That's what the knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes, we are. Teach for children. Learn power. Teach for truth. Preach where you let the rules in the fruit. See the fruit. We are human. A right to live. Right to live. Teach the truth. Preach for you. Live for you. Let the rules in the fruit. We are human. Every single soul on this They handed us the script, but we don't gotta read it no more. Yeah, 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 same old story, different page. Same old ink on a different stage. Got my own people on the corner, pushing me closer to the edge with rage. Willie Lynch probably laughing in his grave. Seeing centuries later, we still enslaved. House divided, envy contagious. The blueprint still working. Ain't that outrageous? Yeah, stack the odds, casino game. Bet against ourselves just to chase some fame. Another brother falls, everybody crying. Last week behind closed doors, they was quietly plotting, trying to dim his light, cause his future too bright. Crabs in the bucket pulling down every flight. Generational wounds pass hand to hand, fighting each other instead of the man with the plan. Iron chains became gold links. Different metal, same prison when nobody thinks. Freedom ain't jewelry, freedom is soul. Can't buy liberation if your spirit been sold. We just echoes in the barrel, spinning circles every day. History whispers softly, but we keep looking away. Now we acting every part. Time to break the cycle, time to heal the broken heart. This ain't the dream they marched for. This ain't the future they could see. This whole thing was a setup. It's time we set ourselves free. Soaked with tears, same pain carried through the years, but we tear each other down for applause, temporary likes while nobody heals. Call you a sellout when you lead a block. Soon as success make the whole world stop, but the real betrayal ain't broke the flight. It's poisoning your people out of envy and spite. You mad cause this watch gleam, mad cause our band gleam. Meanwhile the architects of the cage still counting money behind the scenes. Trap ain't poverty, the trap is division. The chains ain't visible, they're built from our decisions. We carry anger in our chests, years of trauma, years of stress, and pass it to our own bloodline. Instead of putting evil to rest, love became weakness, unity became strange, clout became currency. Everybody let the barrel finally break. Leave the hate where it belongs, for our children's sake. No more jealousy, no more self-destruction, no more borrowed hatred. It's unity or it's nothing. We free. We free.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden. We back on another live. Yeah, I told y'all I was coming back for the part two. But I want to go ahead and say happy Sunday to everybody, y'all. Yes, we are at the end of the weekend and approaching the beginning of the week. It's about 12:45 p.m. here, y'all, Eastern time in the United States and the Carolinas. And again, it's another warm day with a lot of sun. So y'all know what that means. I'm in a great mood, y'all. And of course, I have my lovely co-host here with me, Imani. She'll be joining us in just a moment. But y'all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the love and support. Thanks for coming to listen to us. And tap into some of the conversations and the content that we do over here. It's really appreciated. Whether you tap in and join us in the comment section, or maybe you just like to be chill and lay back and listen. And not necessarily from the bushes, but maybe just not within the chat. We appreciate all the engagement, and I hope everybody is having a wonderful day in whatever respectful time zone you're in, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Um, but yeah, Imani, girl, what's going on? How you doing? How's the weather? How's your day? Happy Sunday, boo.
Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday, Asha, Mama D, um, and anybody who's in the bushes. It's a warm day here in London. It's 5:45 p.m. The sun has been shining, and yeah, I've had a really good weekend. Um, we had a great live yesterday, and thanks for the support, and thanks for those people who come and stop by just to drop a like. It's appreciated. We're enjoying bringing the content, and yeah, it's another lovely day. Um, I've got something for housekeeping. Maybe I'll tell you what. Maybe if we switch it around today, because we can end. No, we can start with your something that you've got to say. You said.
Right. So we'll start with a positive message and then we'll get into a little bit of housekeeping. So I'll lead off with our positive message that we want to leave you guys with. It is Sunday or whatnot. So we did want to come through with that. And then Imani will go ahead and tap into a little bit of housekeeping. Every now and then you got to, sweep up the dust. But let me go ahead and give you guys a quick positive message that really is heartfelt and we want y'all to be left with from us on this live. So let me go ahead and get into it, Imani. All right, y'all. So here's my positive message. Now, have you ever noticed how quickly the world expects you to react? Someone disrespects you, someone lies on your name, someone humiliates you. And immediately people ask, well, what are you going to do about it? As though dignity is measured by how quickly you fight back. But this message reminds us not every insult deserves admission into your spirit. Some people feed on reaction. They provoke the wound and then judge the bleeding. They throw the stone and then become the critics of your tone. And before long, the focus shifts from what was done to you to how you responded. Silence isn't always emptiness. Sometimes silence is wisdom. Sometimes silence is self respect. Sometimes silence says, I will not allow your disorder to become my identity. Now, let's be honest. Silence doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to journal. You're allowed to seek counsel. You're allowed to pray. You are simply not required to turn your pain into a public performance. There is a difference between silence and suppression. Silence with self respect becomes protection. Silence without self respect becomes self abandonment. Boundaries matter. You can forgive someone and still limit their access. You can love people and still choose distance. You can wish someone well and still walk in another direction. And perhaps that's one of the hardest lessons adulthood teaches us. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to you. Growth asks different questions. Anger asks, how do I win in this moment? Rolf asks, how do I become better after this? Anger wants the last word. Growth wants the next chapter. So today, y'all, before we dive into the politics and we hear some housekeeping from Imani, remember, you don't have to attend every argument that calls your name. You don't have to explain your worth to people investing in lowering it. Your peace is precious, so protect it. Because sometimes the most important victories are the ones nobody applauds, the ones where you choose dignity over drama, wisdom over warfare, and peace over proving a point. And that's my message for y'all. Imani, I'm going to hand it over to you, girl. We can get into the housekeeping.
Now, this is where you're going to see the contradiction. Listen, I'm just going to make a general, well, I'm actually going to give a general message to Bitter Betty over there. Yeah. Bitter Betty, who comes out every day to say something. I wish you told me about your message before I produced this, but I would still say the same. Only you could watch a global news segment and watch two videos that were produced by journalists showing the riots and the contradiction of people uniting and standing against racism, and somehow conclude that it was all about you. The fact that you didn't actually listen properly to what was said throughout that broadcast and instead chose to misrepresent the politics and the world events we bring every week says more about your worldview than ours. Not everything revolves around internet feuds and imagined slides. Your commentary rarely engages with the substance of the issues. Instead, it often descends into the same tired cycle of personal attacks and recycled insults. Pick me, scammer, scum, doormat, lowlife is repetitive, is uninspired, and lacks the depth required for meaningful discussion. The level of communication feels less like informed critique and more like playground name calling, except with a far more toxic edge. While some of us are discussing wars, economies, migration, justice, and the stories shaping people's lives across the globe, your focus appears to be fixed on digging into other people's personal business. There's a whole world out there beyond YouTube drama. That said, I'm glad you realize that listening first is important before making content, because as Ludacris once said, when I move, you move. Ah, just like that. And when we move, you move. Just like that.
Just like
Anyway,
that.
perhaps the real issue is innovation. Commentary should bring insight, imagination, and original thought, not simply chasing the latest person to dissect in pursuit of relevance. And finally, if you're someone who has a child with autism or claims to advocate for vulnerable people, then allowing ableist insults about intelligence, brain development, or calling people slow, or the word ending tarded to flourish unchecked should give you pause. We can't preach compassion in one breath and tolerate language that dehumanizes others in the next. Do better. Talk about ideas instead of identities. Challenge arguments instead of attacking humanity. Because the measure of a commentator isn't how cruel they can be, it's whether they can inform, educate, and elevate the conversation. And on that note, we'll continue bringing politics with purpose, global stories with context, and commentary rooted in substance rather than spite. And you continue with what you're doing. Because before I leave this platform, yeah, as you said, you can't wait for me to leave Golden's platform. I can't wait to see you off YouTube. And believe you me, that will come before I leave this platform. Anyway, everybody have a great Sunday. And I'm going to talk again about the football scores of yesterday, because that's another thing that's going on. It's the World Cup football, or soccer, as some of you know it. So yesterday, I think for the first time in, I don't know whether it was, hold on a second. Let me just talk about the results. Qatar, Switzerland, that was a draw. That was 1-1. Brazil drew with Morocco in Group C. That was 1-1. I think I told you that United States beat Paraguay 4-1. Then today, Scotland, yes, it was Scotland. Scotland beat Haiti 1-0, or Haiti, depending on how you say it. Unlucky, Maggie. They beat, that's their first win in about 25 years in the World Cup. I think that's Scotland in a group game. And Australia beat Turkey 2-0. Later on, we have Germany with Curacao and the Netherlands versus Japan. The Germany game is at what time? What time? Oh, around about now, Germany. And the Netherlands game is at about 4 o'clock your time, Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And that's it on the football scores. And that's all for me.
Well said, Imani. Thank you so much for that housekeeping. Sometimes, we have to do it, unfortunately. But let's shout out to Polo. How you doing, Polo? What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday. Mom Star came in. How you doing, Mom Star? Of course, we have Asher is here. Thank you, Asher, for returning. We really appreciate you. Y'all know Mama Warrior is here as well. She's in the background. She'll be coming up to speak a little bit. And yeah, thank y'all so much for joining. We appreciate it. But yes, necessary housekeeping, y'all, before we get into, the meat and potatoes of what we're going to be talking about, because we're talking about serious matters and issues. And so part of that housekeeping has to do with the fact that when we are talking about certain issues, some people don't really fully understand it. And I don't think they're able to do it. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. It's hard work. We seen your attempt, and we also seen the drags and all of the clowning and all the things like that. So have at it, no problem. We are trying to uplift a nation, like one live stream at a time, literally. And yes, that is our goal. That is our movement. So we will continue to make content like this, and we continue to talk about things like this that are affecting everyday people all over the globe, because it is a serious thing. And I believe that everybody needs a light shown on what they are experiencing and going through, because everybody is going through something wherever they're at in this big, beautiful globe. And so if you're not willing to like really sit down and talk about that on a intellectual level and come with your facts, you know what I'm saying, and do your research like we do, then it's really cute that you want to mimic and mock what we do. We understand you're upset because you can't do it as well. That's all I have for housekeeping, and we can move on from there because I don't want to say too much more. Y'all know how I can get. So, y'all, if y'all seen the live yesterday, you know that we had to stop because we had an excellent conversation and an excellent panel of people that were having a conversation together. And we were talking a little bit about this Karmelo Anthony case. It's just causing a lot of uproar and a lot of, we got 50-50 on it. Some people feel one way, some people feel the other. But we were speaking on this, and what I love when we came to the platform is that some people seeing it differently, and that's okay. That's not a problem. That is how we converse, right? But it is devastating. But yeah, so if y'all need just a quick research of what's going on, the jury has returned a guilty verdict, but it's the words of defense attorney Thelma Anderson that are echoing through the community right now. Anderson didn't mince words, stating plainly that the court system enacted a legal lynching of this young man and his family. We have to dissect what it means when the rope and the gavel are used to achieve the same systemic results as the ropes of the past. However, we have to add in some, let's just say, a little bit of sauce on top because yeah, we didn't actually probably agree with what most people would expect us to agree with. We are talking about fairness, we're talking about unity, we're talking about, like justice for all. And so if we're going to speak on those things, then we have to be very honest, right? That there are some times where the justice system is serving, and there are some times when the justice system isn't serving. We will get into that on part two, right? So, a lot of people have been speaking out about the speed and nature of the guilty verdict. They said it came too quickly. They also were talking about the historical and modern weight of Attorney Anderson's words. Also, how the legal system strips away nuances when it comes to young Black men being on trial. So that is one of the things that we are going to be getting into. And to start that off, before I get into the video, I'll ask Imani if she has any thoughts and feelings and opinions so we can tie y'all into where we left off yesterday. But we are going to continue the video from Roland Martin's platform and channel. Shout out to Roland Martin. If y'all are not familiar, please go and support the channel and subscribe. But there was some great commentary coming from a lot of the hosts that were on the show that day. And we will continue that to lead this thing off. And we have a few other videos to play. But before we get into that, Imani, do you have any thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this?
No, we can just go on with the content. But yeah. Yeah, you're right, Asha. I was talking about the riots, and there was a march. It was actually a march that was in London a few weeks ago, and we showed the footage of Tommy Robinson, who they've all been talking about, who Elon Musk supports. And we actually said that this is a global problem. And I have talked many times about Nigel Farage and the rise of the far right globally, and that people are sleeping on it. You're right, I did talk about it. I talked about the London March, which was a few weeks ago, where you had the Palestinian Day of, I can't remember what it was called. It's a day that they have a march every year, and there were also the marches that were led by people in the far right, like Tommy Robinson, who they were actually talking about in the anti-racism march in Northern Ireland yesterday and calling him scum and Elon Musk scum. You're right, I did talk about it. We talk about what happens everywhere. We don't do it because we particularly want to focus on a particular country. It was happening. It was something that was happening, and we needed to show it. That's it. That's all. Anybody else thinking that we
Absolutely. And people were devastated by that tragedy and that occurrence. And it could be something that should be shined a light on. And that's just what we did because we understand that when we connect on this platform, there are people from all over the globe. And like we say and continue to say, everybody is dealing with and going through something. And so that was devastating. But we made it very clear, and Imani made it very clear that she was talking about one side and how actually it is split. Okay. Made that very clear as well. But, people will say what they say. But go ahead, Imani.
was deliberate misrepresentation because Northern Ireland is part of the UK and governed by the UK, and the Republic of Ireland is not. And even if you look at the split in migration, in the Republic of Ireland, I think 70% about 30% are migrants from different countries. But if you look at the split in Northern Ireland, it's much higher. And the problems are much more complex. And hence why I didn't talk about the Troubles, because that is a very complex situation, which is not my lived experience, although there are many things that impacted people in London throughout the Troubles. But it's not somewhere I dare to tread, because I don't know the full history and it's not my lived experience. And I'm very diplomatic and careful about where I put my foot, unlike some people. But listen, let's just get on with the content, because too much time is given to this bitter woman and this desperate housewife. But let's keep going.
Yes, indeed. We will get on with the content. So, y'all, let's go ahead and we're going to pull up so we can listen to the rest of some commentary when it comes to Carmelo Anthony. And we, if you joined us yesterday, we all had, I think, pretty much on the same page about the justice system and justice being served. But we do have little nuances that we understand when it comes to society and Black people, brown people, that the justice system is not always fair when it comes to sentencing with us and gives more lenience to others. So that's not something that we're not aware of. However, despite the fact that things are set up that way, if you commit certain things and crimes, then there are certain consequences. And that's all we were trying to say. And so let's go ahead and get into this video. After we play a little bit of this, we got Mama Warrior is in the building here, and she has a few things that she wants to say as well. I don't know, Ma, did you want to say a few things before we start the video, or do you want to wait till after we play it a little bit? Before we start the video, or do you want to wait till after we play it a little bit? Ma, you have to mute the TV. So you go, yeah, just make sure the TV is on mute and then try it one more time.
I want to get into what we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, sounds better. Very good. All right. Go ahead, Ma.
No, darling, I don't think you understood me. I said I want to speak after the video because I'm interested in what we're talking about right now.
Okay, no problem. Let's get into it. All right, here we go, y'all.
Exactly what they want. Karmelo Anthony is 17 years old, was a student with a 3.7 grade point average when an escalated fight escalated at a track meet in Collin County. Austin Metcalf and others approached under this tent and said that he didn't belong there and ordered him to leave. Carmelo said, look, don't touch me, and he reaches into his bag. He had a knife in his bag. And then when he was approached and was pushed by Austin Metcalf, that's when Carmelo Anthony pulled a knife out, stabbed him in the chest, and he fled. This case, of course, has gotten lots of attention. Austin Metcalf, white, Carmelo Anthony, black. This, of course, was a very contentious trial. Carmelo Anthony did not testify in the trial. That was a decision of the jury. And now, of course, it goes into the hands of the jurors to determine his fate. It is certainly a shocking turn of events. A legal analyst, Thelma Anderson, was in the courtroom, and she went back into the courtroom before they set the jury out to consider his fate. And so we will have her live right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered once she is able to get out of court. The judge prohibited phones, computers, anything along those lines in the courtroom, even in the courthouse. And so we'll be waiting to hear back from her to get a sense of what is taking place. It is certainly a stunning story. Carmelo Anthony, a very bright young man, again, with a bright future. And now, as a result of this decision, he is looking at 5 to 99 years of life in prison. I want to bring in my panel right now, Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali, former senior advisor for environmental justice.
And I'm just going to pause it right there, and then we'll get right back to it. I want to be very clear. This is a conversation that's being had around prior to the sentencing time, like right up there at the end, right? So what we know to be true as of now is the sentencing has been made, and it's been deemed that this young man gets 35 years. But I just wanted to play these conversations right here so y'all can hear a bit of, you know, the mindset and the view when it comes to this entire case around, you know, the sentencing and everything that went down and happened. So yes, this is a older video, slightly older video that came out prior to sentencing. We do know that the sentencing now is 35 years. I just wanted to clarify that, but let's get back to it.
At the EPA, joining us from D.C. Zabora G, DEIA consultant and employment specialist, also from D.C. Joy Cheney, founder of Joy Strategies, also from D.C. Glad to have all three of you here. Testimony of one of the individuals, Mustafa, said that one of the coaches said to Karmelo that after this took place, he said, your life will change forever. That is certainly the case. This, of course, took place a year ago. And here's this young man, 17 years old, tried as an adult, now found guilty of murder. And again, now the fate is in the juror's hand, in the judge's hands. Like we said, it could be as little as 5 years. It could be as many as 99 years. Prosecutors, they want a long sentence. I would not be shocked if they want a sentence of anywhere from 30 to 50 years for Karmelo Anthony. Certainly a sad story. Young man is dead, and this young black man, life may be over before it even gets started.
Yeah, I mean, both families are tragically impacted, and we need to make sure that we call that out. You know, we look at the statistics, right? We know that, unfortunately, half the men who are in prison right now or are incarcerated, whether in federal or state, dealing with life sentences are our brothers, you know, African-American men. And we also know that, I think it was the Prison Policy Institute once talked about that for Black men who are under 25, they're often given longer sentences than any other groups that are out there. So he's facing an uphill battle in the sense of the history of this country and how sentencing is often more severe in relationship to our community. And also, you know, even if it's 20 years or 30 years, once you get out, you still got to carry the stigma that's attached to being convicted of murder. So the thing that I'm continuing to do is to pray, right? Pray for both sides of the family, but also to understand the reality, unfortunately, of how we are seen and how we are often given these longer sentences. The last thing that I'll say, Roland, is that we also got to make sure that for our young men who are out there, often facing all kinds of difficult situations, often dealing with folks who maybe have bigotry or discrimination, we've got to also make sure that they understand the choices, those split-second choices, the impacts that they can have. We've got to learn to be able to de-escalate in these types of situations so that you can live another day, but not just live another day, but live another day free, so that you can be able to achieve all the things that are in front of you.
The prosecutors say, Zabora, that it was Karmelo who provoked the incident, even though it was Metcalf who shoved Karmelo. And the DA said that a shove should not be met with being stabbed in the chest. The defense said, hey, he was defending himself when he was surrounded by Austin Metcalf, his brother, and several others. And they argued that this was absolutely self-defense.
Well, you know, I think that we have to look at the history of how Black men are charged in the court of law and how they're not seen like their white counterparts would be, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this individual pushed him and provoked him. So Karmelo should have been able to defend himself, but they don't look at our Black children like they want us to look at their white children. And we know that Black Americans are arrested at higher rates. We know that our defendants receive longer sentences, and we know that we are not given benefit of the doubt. So this could have easily been manslaughter versus murder, but the state is going to overcharge. The jury is not a jury of his peers. Everybody in that jury were white, you know, so you don't get the fair shot of this person actually being innocent until proven guilty. I don't know that there was enough evidence to show that it wasn't self-defense. And I don't think that Karmelo had a fair shot at a trial on this when we know what history has shown us. History has shown us that Black males are not treated in the same way that their white counterparts, white teens, would be treated in this instance. If this was 2 Black boys and 1 white boy, I think the conversation would be a whole lot different. And so I think we just need to really understand that how race is playing in this situation and how the media has portrayed Karmelo as some thug or some reprobate that isn't, you know, was up to no good, when in reality, this was his school. These kids didn't go there. It was a lot of different situations that could have prevented this. And I just feel that, you know, we need to really understand how the system is just having a miscarriage of justice for our young Black men.
Joy, yeah, as Mustafa said, a split-second decision now is going to have lifelong consequences. The father, Alton Metcalf, forgave Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony's parents obviously aggrieved. According to witnesses, Karmelo, once the jury verdict came down, was crying uncontrollably and was shaking at the defense table, as that's what one would expect when a 17-year-old bound for college hears that he is guilty of murder.
Right. I mean, this was a fight between 2 boys. And I think for anyone out there listening, look at your sons. My stepson just graduated from college, young, life full and ahead of him. I cannot imagine either for Austin's parents or Karmelo's parents. These are, you know, a fight between boys with long range consequences. What I think is dissatisfying for all of us is that, as we know, Karmelo deserves some punishment for what happened here. Austin has paid the ultimate price for his role. We know that race is playing a role here in the charging, the decision to go murder. And we pray that there will be some mercy given as we're looking at the range here. Surely the facts of this case trend towards the lower end. You know, this is not someone who is likely to reoffend. This is someone who can be rehabilitated. This is a life that can be saved. And so I hope if Austin's parents truly have forgiven Karmelo and truly understand that this was a fight that got out of hand with immature young men, that he will also speak and say, we don't want this to be a double tragedy, to be, you know, amplified and complicated by a long sentence that will be problematic for everyone. This will be constantly something. Why not have this be a story of redemption and second chances? I really pray for that. This case screams for that. Everything about it seems to scream for that, and that it would just be a loss to both families if this is some long, long, unnecessary sentence here. This young man can be rehabilitated. He can be, he can serve his time, and he can come out and be able to live a full life, perhaps being able to share his lesson with other young men. Calm down. Don't, you know, necessarily have weapons on you that are deadly, because a split second can end someone else's life and effectively yours.
Well said, and fairly said, right? And so we've been having a conversation about this case, and we had a great panel yesterday where it wasn't just me and Imani, but we were also joined by Mama Warrior. My baby Carlos came over, and we also had 1-800 Brick City too. And we seen that we had a conversation that really kind of at the core led to, understanding that we know the facts, we know the statistics, we understand how the judicial system works and how it's set up and how it, weaponizes against Black and brown people. And it is not always fair, right? And we'll get into that because we have some content that we're going to show that shows the exact opposite and what we are fighting against and fighting for when we talk about equality when it comes to justice. However, we still have to be realistic about the fact that, if you do something wrong, if you commit a crime, then you do have to pay a price. Now, the sentencing, the amount of years sentencing is what I don't know. I guess is that the thing that's got people on the fence. Some people are saying it's too extreme. Some people are saying it's justified and it's the right amount. How do we gauge that, right? And it's hard to gauge something from a system that has consistently shown us that this is the standard. Like when it comes to you being Black or brown, this is the standard for you. When it comes to you being maybe another race, this is the standard for you. Do I think that the judicial system should be set up that way? No. I think it needs to be fair across the board, no matter what your race is and who you are. But we're dealing with what we got, right? And when you know that you have a system you got to deal with that is in place, sometimes you just have to make better decisions. Yes, it's unfortunate. You have to be 10 times as better. You have to always keep your head on swivel. You have to, think quick on your feet. But that's our life. That's our life and that's our experience. And it may not just be here in the US, it could be in other countries as well. I can't be sure. I can't speak on that. We will let Imani speak in just a moment, and then Mama Warrior has some things to say as well. But it is what it is. It's unfortunate that the system is set up that way, but it is. And when you know that, then this is why we say teach your children, right? Tell them this is a system that is set up. It's not set up to be fair. And if they make one mistake, one slip up, one, quick move or whatnot, when it comes to Judgment Day, you're probably not going to get, the best experience, right? Some people are saying it's fair, some people are saying it's not. And we understand the reasons to that and why, right? Because of the experiences that we have seen when it comes to these type of things. But Imani, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you.
I thought Mama Warrior was going to go first.
No, she here with me, and JJ's not in the background, and her phone dies. Child, she's just gonna get on the mic. But she said you can go first, and then she'll go
first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's many things they're saying in here that I don't like I said yesterday, that I personally, having been on both sides of the fence, supporting people who are on both sides of the fence, having been a victim of such a crime, or the family member of a victim of such a crime, and also having dealt with young people who have got themselves into trouble, some for crimes that result in the unaliving of someone, and some that result in, serious charges. The one thing that I will say is we have a law in the UK, and I said this yesterday, that because we have a lot of knife crime, that if you're caught with a bladed article and you have a history of these sorts of crimes, or you're known to be involved with gangs, you can get an automatic 5-year sentence. Because the question is, why are you carrying a bladed article, which could be a knife, it could be some other weapon. And I also did speak yesterday about the unaliving of a friend of ours, a young woman who was with her 2-year-old daughter at the Notting Hill Carnival last year, when she tried to intervene, not only because they pushed her daughter over, but because there were 2 young boys fighting, and she was unalived with a Rambo knife. And this is a young mother who left a 2-year-old. And sorry, trigger warning, people. I'm really sorry. I said that without thinking. This was a young mother who left a 2-year-old daughter, someone we've known since childhood. And the person was unalive just minutes away from where we were. So I have, like I said, I am split in the sense of I do believe that it shouldn't have resulted in the passing of a young man or a young man losing his life. Because once you draw a weapon, it doesn't matter whether it was a pocket knife, a hunting knife, or whatever, then someone's going to get hurt. And what annoys me these days is no one just wants to have a little squabble. No one just wants to have just a fist fight. Everything ends up, everything seems to end up in tragedy, unnecessary tragedy. And, we need to teach our children about consequences. And one thing I learned from working with young people is they don't actually think that far ahead. They just react. And that's why it's really, 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 really good to do for people who are dealing with young people, the youth workers, to do more with conflict resolution. I've worked in a community centre where there's been a funeral for a young person who died from a knife attack, and someone has turned up at the funeral with a sword because they knew that other gang members were going to be there. This is at the funeral of their friend that's actually passed away. I mean, it's crazy nowadays, and consequences are really, really severe. Now, however, I did talk to you yesterday about the thing that I think about someone who is sentenced as an adult and someone who is the sentencing in the US versus the UK. And I said that the sentencing in this type of situation in the UK, they take into account your previous history. They take into account whether you've been troubled before. And the starting point for people who are aged between 10 and 17, because the age of criminal responsibility in England and Wales is 10. It starts at 12 years. And the majority of young people, if they don't have a really bad criminal history, will probably get anything between 12 and 18 years, which gives them, and they're fortunate to be able to live a life afterwards because they're looking to rehabilitate them. When you've got 35 years and you are, this happened to him when he was, I think, 15. Is he 15? Was it 15 or 17? 17. He was 17 and he's got 35 years.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, he hasn't got anything to, well, he has got a life to look forward to. I'm wrong. But 35 years is a hell of a long time for me. And I'm not saying that he was right in what he did, because he wasn't right in what he did. And that's where I sit, because I'm not part of the bandwagon that says, this is not about a white jury. What we will look at is people like Kyle Rittenhouse, if you remember, who drove into did he drive or shoot, sorry, unalive protesters at a march. That was the young man who I think has a job with the administration now, if we remember. I don't know if you guys remember Carl Rittenhouse and the fact that he was pardoned, or he didn't even, I don't even think he went to jail. And I think they took him to get something to eat before they took him to the police station. Do you remember that case, Golden?
Yes, I do. That's a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have that here. But what I thought was interesting, and there's just one quick thing I'll say before I close. I thought I looked up the age of criminal responsibility. I haven't done it for the states because, I don't, there's a lot of states and I think it goes by states. But across Europe, it's very interesting to see the difference when they think that people have enough mind to understand. So in Scotland, it's 12. In Northern Ireland, it's 10. In England, it's 10. And in Wales, it's 10. In the Republic of Ireland, it's 12. In Germany, it's actually 14. In Sweden, it's 15. And in Portugal, it's 16. Those are the ages that they say. That's not to say that you cannot be charged if you do something really heinous at a younger age. Like in the Republic of Ireland, you can be charged at 10 to 11 if you commit some sort of heinous crime like unaliving, manslaughter, rape, aggravated SA. But I thought it was really interesting the difference in the countries when they say you can take responsibility, criminal responsibility. But that's all I've got really.
Okay, Imani, yes, and I piggyback on everything that you have explained to us. I just have a small thing to say. Let me first say hello to the chat. Say hello to you and Golden. You guys are doing some great lives here. And I just wanted to say a little bit about Karmelo Anthony's case. As it appears, which we don't know yet, it appears that Karmelo Anthony will be doing an appeal, and I ran across some research of some cases that I hope would be cited in his appeal, which one is to be Batson versus Kentucky. This particular case, it will show the defense shows facts of suggesting racial discrimination in jury strikes. I understand that there were none of his peers a part of that jury. And also the prosecution provides race-neutral reasons why that was done. And the judge will decide whether intentional discrimination occurred. Now, once again, let me just reiterate some of the things that I have said from yesterday. Number one, there was a murder. Number one, someone lost their child. My heart and my sympathy goes out to that family and friends of the young man. Number two, yes, our young man was responsible for the very death of him. But what I failed to get from this case is it appears that they did not allow any video coverage of the incident. Number one. Number two, they didn't allow for there to be a mixed jury. I have a problem with that. And basically what I'm saying, all we really are asking for is that in every criminal case or every case, that there is fairness in justice, regardless what race you are, that there is fairness in justice. And I think in a little while, you ladies have come up with a case that's going to be able to, we're going to be able to compare and see exactly what we're talking about. Yes, the young man did murder the guy, maybe not premeditated, but he did murder him. And yes, he would have to do time. And yes, he had a weapon on him that should not have been there. All these are facts, regardless if he's white or black. This was the facts. The only thing that I was trying to say yesterday was I just thought the sentence was a bit heavy for a 17-year-old who's never been in trouble, who has a great academic record, who doesn't have any charges or anything, a great student. I just felt as though it was a little heavy loaded. Of course, the family who has suffered this pain and agony, I can also see their side of things. It's like, yeah, he needs a lot of time. He took my son. I understand that because I'm human. I understand that. But what we are missing in this justice system all over the place is that we need fairness in the justice system. Meaning, if I get
20 years, this is just an example. If I get 20 years for murdering someone, I am a black man who has murdered a white person. Fine. But let's flip that and let's make it fair. If I am a white person who also murders a black person, then I'm looking forward to getting the very same kind of punishment, the very same kind of time. But in this case that you guys are about to bring up, we're going to be able to actually compare and see where these injustices come as far as punishment for these certain crimes, where it's very unfair and all over the place. And that's basically what I wanted to express. And I'm looking forward to being able to contrast this case that you guys are going to bring up. And I think people will seem to understand a little better what I am, really trying to say. But great live, you guys. I'm here for the whole thing. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Thank you, Ma. I appreciate that. And she has her own thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I have my own. Imani has her own, and others may have theirs as well. Hey, Just Risa, what's going on? How are you doing? It says, Imani and Golda, I'm not here to start fights. This is just a case I follow very, very closely with an open mind, and I know the Texas statutes of the case. Not here to fuss about the race issues. No problem, Risa. Imani, you can go ahead now. You can speak next.
Rita, we're not here to talk about the race issues. I think I've made it perfectly clear that I've been on both sides of the fence when it comes to being the family of a victim of crime, and on the other side, where I've advocated for people with crime. And I've talked about the consequences of once you draw a weapon and the other person doesn't have one and somebody's unalived. It changes the basis of what or how you get judged. I'm not talking about that. And like I said, I'm not talking about the statutes or the sentencing or the fairness, because I haven't looked at the sentencing guidelines. What I was actually saying is that I was actually comparing how we sentence according to age in the UK is different from the US. That's why I was saying yesterday, if you listen to what I said yesterday, that there are what we call sentencing bird, and we call it sesame numbers, like big bird numbers, because 35 years in the UK, even if you get sentenced at 42, say for example you're about 42 and you committed a crime of unalivement at 15, they would still sentence you in the UK according to the age you were when you committed the crime, which would mean that you would sit in that statute that ranges from 12 to 18 years, regardless of if you were caught when you were 42. I said that the way the UK system works, they actually also give allowance to the fact that under 18, which is considered, 18 is considered to be an adult in the UK, that you are a different person. And they also take into account enhancements in the UK involve whether you're a gang member, whether there's a weapon involved. This is what increases the amount of years you're given, whether you have a history of crime, whether this is part and parcel of what you've been doing. They take into an account who that person is that's in front of them. So a person with a 3.7 GPA who has never been in trouble, who is not a gang member, would be treated in a lot of cases, because the sentencing guidelines are actually written down and you can just download them, would be sentenced according to the factors. The enhancements come from the judges when they look at the person in front of them, the probation reports, etc., and whether they have a criminal history. So I'm not disputing what has happened, because I've already said where I sit, and I've sat on both sides of the fence, one as a family member of a victim of crime who has been unalived, The other side, where I've advocated for young people, what I am much more advocating is for children or young people to be taught better conflict resolution, because they do not realize sometimes that every action has a reaction, but there's also consequences. That's where I sit with it. Well, I'm not talking about race when it comes to this. Other people have race issues because they are familiar with the US justice system. I'm just talking about where I would sit, where I sit from this perspective. People can speak to this better than I, but I can also quote the Carl Rittenhouse case and many others, even in the US. That's what I was saying.
Right. And it is very different, in the US and the UK and maybe in other countries as well. But what Reese is saying, when it comes to like Texas, there are some different, laws and regulations there. And unfortunately in the US, which is why I think I like the UK system better, is there are differences sometimes, depending on your state, your city, or whatnot that you may live in. And so when it comes to Texas, under Texas law, a person commits murder if they intentionally or knowingly cause someone's unaliving, intend bodily injury, or commit a life-threatening act that causes unalivement, or cause of unalivement during commission of certain felonies. Murder is generally considered a first-degree felony. So the punishment for that murder, for a first-degree felony murder conviction, it is 5 to 99 years. You can get from anywhere from 5 to 99 years in prison or life, and possible fines up to $10,000. Now they also have sudden passion. So in Texas, it says they have a unique provision called sudden passion. After a murder conviction, the defense can argue that the unaliving occurred in the heat of the moment due to adequate provocation. Provocation. I don't think I'm saying that word right.
Provocation.
If the jury provocation, okay. If the jury agrees, the punishment is reduced down now from first-degree felony to second-degree felony for sentencing purposes. The punishment range then becomes 2 to 20 years in prison and fines up to $10,000. And then if we go further, we can get into capital murder and all of those things. So how is this related to Karmelo Anthony's case? So Anthony was convicted of murder, not capital murder. Therefore, the sentencing range available to the jury was 5 to 99 years or life. Reports indicate the defense sought a sudden passion finding, which would have lowered the punishment range, but the jury rejected that argument and sentenced him to 35 years in prison anyway. One thing that often surprises people, Texas does not technically have separate crimes called first-degree murder or second-degree murder the way some states do. Instead, Texas has the offense of murder, and the punishment level is generally first-degree felony punishment unless reduced by a successful sudden passion finding. And so if Risa, I think, is that what you were speaking about? Because I know you do cover this stuff and you follow it very closely. So do you agree or disagree with the sentencing, amount of time? And we taking race off the table. It ain't got nothing to do with race. Okay, thank you, Risa. So Risa is saying because she's in Texas and she knows about the Texas laws and how it works when it comes to smurda, that the injustice here is that based off of the way, he, let's say, attacked and took the other young man's life, it could have been argued and fall under a sudden passion smurda. And if it falls under the sudden passion smurda, then he should only get anywhere from 2 to 20 years prison time. But I guess they didn't argue that. I can't be sure. I didn't follow all of the trial, but Risa said she followed all of the trial. And
Can
then
I
she
ask a
said
question?
life, no parole, or DP for the age. So, okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Imani, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. You see, when they give a tariff, they call it a tariff in the UK. So, if someone gets a 12-year tariff in the UK, they don't review you before when it comes to an M charge or a life sentence. They do not do any parole reviews before that tariff is up. So once someone gets a 12-year tariff, it's 12 years before they get reviewed for parole. You guys have a range. We have it's set at a tariff. So the judge, and the other thing that happens in the UK, it's not the jury that actually give the sentence, it's the judge. And the judge has the sentencing guidelines, and the judge has to explain as he sentences why he's adding on or why he's reducing the years. So if a 15-year-old committed an M and the judge says 12 years, it means that's the minimum tariff, or it's 12 years. If it says 15 years, that's the minimum tariff before they will before they would give them parole. There's nothing, they can't do any less time than that. And that's what they do in the UK. They set a tariff. So that is the difference in the UK. So it's not a range. It's kind of, when it comes to life sentencing, there's a minimum tariff. And when they say 12 years, it's 12 years. The only thing that can get taken off is the time you may have spent on remand. But that will depend on what the judge says. And that's how it works. So anyway, where are we going to next? Are we playing more of the video?
Yeah. Yes, let's get back into the video and we'll be right back.
Thelma Anderson, legal analyst, joins us right now. Thelma, give us a sense of what the courtroom was like and also what is happening outside that courtroom.
First and foremost, the one thing that I would ask for people to do at this moment is pray for the Anthony family, because they have been legally lynched for the last year, and more so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse, as well as the family of the Metcalfs. So the energy right now is very white supremacy. They have shown up to be the pigs that they display with hate. They are celebrating the loss of life and the loss of freedom. So that's the energy. We have a devastated family who didn't know that they was going to have to let their son go back into a holdover, because we have an overzealous prosecutor who lied throughout this trial, who put on liars as witnesses in order to be a saving grace for the white community so that they can win an election. That's what it feels like right now.
The what's happening right now, is the jury right now debating his sentencing?
Yes, the jury is debating his sentencing right now. We came out of sentencing, the opening and the closing of both the defense and the state, and now the jury is going to make a decision about what time they are going to give him.
Well, we've already seen what the prosecutor has made. We already seen the prosecutor made clear that he wants it to be a long sentencing.
What I heard from this man today is indicative of why it's important that it's people that look like us that are in courtrooms like that. This man disregarded human life, the entire trial. He invoked race. He equated Dallas County as being the ghetto, opposed to Frisco being safe. They propagandized a photo of the deceased with Black people around praying, saying this is community. They used us as a prop in order to pitch their lynching. This man has been known to be an overzealous prosecutor when it comes to us. He see us as what was the statement that free labor. That's what he see us as. So I'm not surprised that this prosecutor, who has unethical background, would get up there and ask for the max when he know that this was self-defense.
Well, folks, as we say at the top, Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty in a Collin County courtroom. He faces anywhere from 5 to 99 years in prison. The jury right now is deliberating what his sentencing is. Thelma, explain to folks how Texas works. If the jury settles on a sentence, does the judge have to accept that sentence? Can the judge offer his own sentence?
So in the state of Texas, when a defendant decides if it gets the punishment, they get to pick if they want to go before a judge or they want to go before a jury. There was no way in the God's hell that this individual was going to, his attorneys was going to allow him to go to this judge based off of his behavior. So he went to the jury. The jury now determines, and they have the final say. A judge cannot come and undo if he thinks that it's too light. If he do, that's another constitutional violation and it's appealable if he decides to overthrow what a jury has decided, even though he's given them permission to do their job. So whenever in a criminal justice, whenever in a trial, they get to pick who sentenced them if it gets to that point. And Karmelo Anthony selected the jury. And let's hope that this judge, who has been doing any and everything behind closed doors that we don't see, don't invade the province of the jury and allow them to do their job.
All right, Thelma Anderson, we really appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. We'll wait to hear what this jury decides. All right, folks, let me tell you about Chapter. Now, if you're on Medicare or
All right, y'all. So that is the end of that video, but we do have 2 more. And yes, they won't be as long, a little bit, shorter or whatnot, but to add more context and information to the situation. And thank you, Risa, for being from Texas. You have some inside information as far as how sometimes the sentencing and things like that are typically supposed to go when it comes to the, judicial system in, cases like this where there's murder involved. I think one of the biggest arguments that are being had and the conversations that are being had, and like I said, y'all wait for it because we're going to get into it and we're going to show you exactly probably why we're dealing with arguments within this case the way we are, some people for that matter, which is warranted. We do understand. When it comes to us speaking out about things, when it comes to race and equality, it is something that is very serious because we live it and we experience it every day, whether we're in the US, UK, maybe anywhere around the globe. And so one of the things that we have experienced and we've known to be true, and we've seen multiple times than not, is that a lot of times if there is a Black or a brown person that commits a crime, the full sentence or, the judicial system will be totally 10 toes down when it comes to their sentencing or, circumstance as far as what they've done. But what the problem is that we don't see that always happen when it needs to. And we will get into that a little bit later in the video. And I understand that is a friction and it's a frustration. And I understand that all people don't feel that way, no matter what race or background that they're from. A lot of people see it for what it is. With additional information, when it comes to being in your specific state, knowing how the judicial system works and the sentencing, then you can speak, you know, and say and give a little bit more context, like, you know, yeah, this is how it works here, and it's kind of different from how it works anywhere else. And a lot of people, sometimes, if you don't live in that state and you don't know how, you know, things work in that state, then you may not have all of the facts, right? You may not understand why that ruling was given and how they move and operate within the judicial system. I think the overall argument is that despite what state you're in, if you are a black or brown person, the judicial system kind of moves and shifts a little bit differently when it comes to you. And sometimes justice is served properly, and sometimes it's not served properly. Sometimes it's served properly when it comes to other races of people, and sometimes it's not served properly when it comes to other races of people. So it is a 50-50 split, you know? But we have seen enough cases and ended excuse me, I need to get some water.
Sorry.
And enough yeah, go ahead, Imani, please. I need to get water.
No, I, you know, given the fact that Just Research does true crime, this is probably something you might want to talk about on your channel. I'd be interested in a live on, you know, Texas and the judicial system, because we're going to be doing quite a few things on the justice system globally. But I would be really interested for you to do a breakdown on this case, and I'd love to see a live that you do about the case, because you say, you know, you followed it you followed it diligently. There was a lot that we said yesterday that people might want to listen to. It wasn't straightforward. We weren't straightforward talking about, oh my God, this is unfair. This is, you know, he shouldn't have got that. And I think people need to listen to both of our lives to understand what we were talking about. But I'd be really interested in hearing your breakdown of the case, because you know, I know that you do true crime as well. But you know, we're just here giving out differing opinions, and some of these opinions are different from our own on the Carmelo Anthony case. We had a long, lengthy discussion yesterday, and we had some panelists. We're just really trying to finish up what we were doing yesterday because we didn't get to do it. But definitely, I'd love to watch a live with your complete breakdown of the case as you followed it, as you see it, and talking about the Texas statutes, because it will be informative for all of us.
I agree, Imani. You know, and I do think, you know, when it comes to a lot of these cases and things that we have to discuss, sometimes we do have to take the racism off of the shelf, and, you know, the racist connotations that are added, you know, sometimes by people off the shelf. And so what we literally spoke about yesterday is the fact that we don't believe that, you know, we should focus so heavily on the race factor. We need to focus on the fairness of the judicial system, and when it comes to how that system is structured. And when we are fighting and speaking up, you know, for justice and equality, that is literally what it is. And, you know, in the United States, I guess it is more complicated, unfortunately, because there's so many different states and representatives, and how the judicial system may work is based off of their local representation that they have, as far as governors and, you know, mayors and things of that nature. And so that is something that we say is very important for us, and we preach and tell people that we must vote, and we must go out to our local elections and vote, because that does hold a lot of weight when it comes to situations such as this, beyond just the grand jury, the courts, and all of those things, right? So no, we're not really pushing this narrative and this conversation from the race standpoint. We're pushing it more so from the equality standpoint. And when it comes to what's equal and what's fair, we don't take off the table that a young man lost his life and he did something that he has to pay a price for. We understand that. But what we are saying is, when it comes to the judicial system, systemically, how it works is that typically not fair when it comes to black and brown people and other races and, you know, ethnicities of people sometimes get slaps on the wrist for the exact same thing, if not worse. And that is where the activism and us standing up and talking about this happen. So Imani, you go, and then we'll take a song break.
No, I've got nothing to say. I just think we've got some stuff to get through. Otherwise, we'll never get through all the stuff we're doing. That's it's quite late here. It's already 7 o'clock.
Right, we'll be moving.
Yeah,
right
we did
along.
a lot.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just Risa to go watch what we did yesterday to understand what we were saying and our point of view.
Yeah, we had some great conversations yesterday, and a lot of different people on the panel who literally have not presented this in a racist way. We've just presented it in a fair way, and we are using this as a teaching moment. And like I said, if we can get on with the rest of our content, we'll be able to show you exactly why this needs to be a teaching moment, because we understand right is right and wrong is wrong, fair is fair, right? We get that. We know that very well. All we're asking is, can everybody else see through that same lens? Anyway, y'all, let's take a quick song break and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining and tapping in. We welcome you. We hope you stay and you listening. And yeah, we'll be right back after this.
Considering that got people forgetting the first of you. That part. Every laugh ain't harmless. Every post ain't just jokes. Some people smiling online, crying in real life. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Why? You don't know what they carry when the camera done. Broken souls throw stones and hide their hands. Cowards in comment sections playing God again. Karma don't miss. Karma don't miss. And healing's still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Yeah. YouTube streets messy, everybody got a target. Creators throwing dirt like hate became a market. Mocking people daily, that spirit look haunted. Tell me who raised y'all, this behavior garbage. Laughing at depression, exposing folks' trauma. Then that shock when tragedy follow behind you. The evil energy, boomerang proper. Karma pull up silent like a midnight robber. And honestly, do you watch my live? I talk truth, pain, growth, tears, real vibes. Not everybody built for the games online. Some folks want insult from losing their mind. That's facts, no cap. Y'all addicted to humiliation. Every live stream feel like public execution. Views over souls, cloud over humans. Then wonder why the whole world mentally ruined. Somebody mama crying at night. Somebody daughter hurt inside. Somebody praying not to give up while bullets screenshot pain for life. Shame on you, shame. You need healing too. Only damaged people wake up daily, trying to damage others too. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Tearing them down. You don't know what they fighting when the live stream done. Baby, no. Keyboard killers acting tough online. Whole time spiritually broken inside. Karma don't miss, no. Karma don't skip souls either. Every hateful seed gon' meet the reaper. So to the hurt and bully people, listen close. You matter more than these demons online. These chicks bitter, these dudes weird. Obsessed every day, like why you still here? Refreshing my page while pretending you don't care. Whole personality built off hate and fear. Talk slick online, real life timid. Broken inside, everybody can't feel it. Projecting their wounds while the comments all cheering. That ain't straight, baby, that sickness concealed. And I said what I said. Yeah, some of these creators need therapy bad. Not another live stream drag. Not another fake outrage cash grab scam. Y'all bully for a living. That's sad. Spirit look bankrupt, dusty and mad. And the people encouraging it just is trash. Laugh now. Karma got a long memory past. Lord, cover the wounded. Cover the lonely heart. Cover the lonely heart. Cover the people crying silently in dark rooms. Teach us compassion again. Teach this because words cut deep. So deep. And some people never recover. To everybody bullied online, you are not weak because you hurt. You are not crazy because you feel pain. And don't let these empty souls convince you your life got no value. The loudest bullies usually fighting demons they never healed from. That ain't an excuse, but it's the truth. And to the bullies, get help, seriously. This obsession with tearing strangers apart every day, that ain't normal. Enough is enough. We need love more than ever now. More than ever. Too many souls out here barely hanging on somehow. No more glorifying painful views. No more clowning hurtful revenue. No more mob attacks for entertainment. That darkness got consequences too. Karma don't miss. Karma don't miss. And healing's still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Enough is enough. Spread love before it's too late. Yeah, before it's too late.
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with us with that quick song break. We're going to go ahead and get right into the next video, y'all, because we got to move this forward, y'all. We have some time constraints. Okay? So let's go ahead and move into our next video. And as you can see, this is Torre right here. So Torre has some things to say as far as, you know, the case with Karmelo Anthony and the conviction that he was given. And so it's always an interesting interview for us to listen to, y'all. So let's go ahead and pop this up. Before I do that, Imani, do you have anything to say before we get started, or you want to just get right into it?
No, I just want to get right into it. We'll just play the first 10 minutes of this, and I would advise anybody, because Torre has some great videos. He does Rap Latte as well. Go and subscribe, share his videos. He's got some really good content. This is just another person giving their perspective on what they thought of the trial and the conviction. And they are not necessarily the views of this platform. What we're showing is what people thought about the conviction of Karmelo Anthony. So, yeah, let's just roll the tape.
I want to talk about who Karmelo Anthony was before the stabbing that landed him in prison for 35 years. He was 17 when the stabbing happened. He's 19 now. He had a 3.7 GPA and was the captain of the school's football team and the track and field team. 3.7 means he was successful in the classroom. He was focused on the books. Captain means he was a leader. He's the oldest of 4 kids, which also signals some leadership in the home. He worked at Foot Locker and H-E-B grocery store as a teenager, 2 jobs. So he was responsible. Going into the day that changed his life forever, he was an honor roll student athlete, 2-sport captain with 2 jobs and no criminal record. His parents are together to this day. His mother is a stay-at-home mom who says her life's mission is to ensure her kids were loved, nurtured, and supported.
My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
People want us dead.
After they still got what they wanted.
After they still got what they want, they still want us dead.
She said they put God first in everything that they do. So it was a structured 2-parent home with stability, faith, and love. His family walked out of the court after his sentencing, sending a message of love, even though you can tell they are deeply hurt, but they are emotionally resilient. This is a good kid in a good home. Or he's a good kid who was in a good home because now he's an inmate stuck in hell for about 35 years.
I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon?
People hanging around outside the trial, very emotional.
Tonight, emotions boiling over outside the courthouse. Protesters in each other's faces, some openly weeping.
I feel like it was designed to protect white people, the system, and it was not designed to protect black people.
On the day everything in his life changed, Karmelo was looking for shelter from the rain.
This wasn't just raining. We were under a tornado watch that day.
His school didn't have their own tent to protect their kids at that track meet, so he found shelter in another school's tent.
He was sitting there seeing his friend. He was actually his girlfriend's cousin invited him to the tent. So when they invited him to the tent, just, hey, what's going on, such and such. It was raining. He sat there. Then next you know it, you had these two guys who approached him.
Several kids objected to him being in the tent, including the Metcalf twins, Austin and Hunter.
This kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see.
In that video, you hear Hunter clearly say it was him and Austin going at Karmelo. You also hear him say that Austin grabbed Karmelo's bag. So you mean to tell me that Austin walked up 5 bleacher rows to get to Karmelo? He was yelling at Karmelo. Him, his brother, and his friend were standing over Karmelo, and Karmelo was the aggressor in the situation.
Why was it so important to them that he leave their tent in the middle of a rainstorm? They repeatedly demanded that he leave their tent. Why did they need him to leave? Was it crowded? Was there not enough room for everyone? Or were they being territorial? The twins' father has talked about how his late son was a warrior. He talked about hunting and toughness.
You see these two twin thugs? This is who they want us to believe are victims. 2 6-foot bullies walked up to Karmelo Anthony, who's between 130, 140 pounds, soaking wet, walks up to him, intimidating him. And this is who they want us to believe are the victims.
One widely shared Substack by Dr. Stacey Patton, whose work I talked about in my video about spanking kids. Dr. Patton noted that Jeff Metcalf unintentionally described his son's boyhood as steeped in warrior fantasies. Dr. Patton wrote, speaking to Jeff Metcalf, father of the deceased, quote, "You told us about the kind of white boyhood Austin was raised inside. It was a boyhood steeped in conquest language, hunting rituals, warrior fantasies, masculine toughness, and the romance of force. You told us about a child praised not just for being kind, curious, gentle, or careful, but for becoming a leader and a warrior in a racist culture where those words too often mean dominance. You taught Austin what it meant to be a warrior. You taught him that toughness was honorable. You taught him that taking up space was normal. You taught him that confrontation was courage. You socialized Austin into entitlement long before he ever reached that track meet. You failed to teach your boy that Black children have boundaries. You failed to teach humility, restraint, or the sacred fact that another person's body is not your jurisdiction. You failed to teach him that another child's space is not a challenge to be conquered. You failed to teach him that community does not mean white boys get to decide who belongs and who does not. This Jeff Metcalf person stood in that Texas courtroom where a black boy was convicted and sentenced to 35 years for killing a white boy. And he said that this wasn't about race. We all bleed the same blood. Oh my God. Jeff, of course it's about race. A black boy killed a white boy in Texas. He claimed self-defense. That means the jurors had to imagine a black boy being in deadly fear of a white boy. This jury did not believe that. But how could they believe that when they are taught by America to fear black boys?
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was trying to be, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
The prosecutors struck 100% of the black jurors from sitting on the jury. The prosecutor claimed that the black jurors were all educators, and he was worried that they would be biased in favor of a defendant who was a student, but here's the tell. The prosecutor didn't strike the white educator from the jury pool. Studies have shown that an all-white jury pool is 16% more likely to result in a guilty verdict against a black defendant than a jury pool that includes just one black person. To everyone who's asking black people, why does it always have to be about race? You're asking the wrong person. Ask the prosecutor who struck 100% of the black people from being on that jury.
I feel like it was designed to protect white people.
They look at Karmelo. They don't see the honor roll, the captain of 2 sports teams, the Christian. They see someone they would cross the street to get away from, someone who would make them clutch their purse tighter. America is taught to fear black boys. Austin saw him as a conquest because his father taught him to be a warrior, and the jury couldn't see Anthony as a victim because America is inherently afraid of black boys.
The decision in the Karmelo Anthony case was a horrible one. The verdict was atrocious. If Karmelo Anthony had been white, this would not have happened. The fact that there were no black jurors in this case is deeply problematic.
I mean, Jeff Metcalf has some interesting views on race.
And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I'm being so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you. You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled. You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. It means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or a race or gender. Whose broad ass idea was that? You're encouraging and saying it's okay because he's a certain color. Oh, you've got more melanin than me. Ooh, so you get more privileges, more entitlement? Because 400 years ago, someone actually sold you to us, and we took you over here and put you to work. And then we had a civil war to free your ass.
I wonder how much of that he taught to his kids. Of course, race is a part of how Karmelo perceived in a courthouse.
Here's what Carmelo Anthony's problem is. He's black. He's black and they're white. And you're going to have conservative white jurors that self-defense is okay if you're white, not if you're black.
Carmelo Anthony had been white. Not only would he have not been convicted, there'd have never been charges. Whole thing was a goddamn tragedy, and it was started by the kid that died. The only reason Carmelo Anthony was convicted was because we are a broken, fucking bigoted country.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a white boy, drove to another community with a gun and killed 2 people, and a jury decided that was self-defense. But do black people get to claim that they killed in self-defense in America?
Self-defense is a racial privilege, and it falls along racial lines. In America, 2 people can claim the exact same fear, and only one of them is believed. Most self-defense laws depend on whether your fear was reasonable. But who decides what fear looks like in a society that associates blackness with criminality and danger? Self-defense cases are rarely about what.
All right, Imani, you can go ahead and take the lead with this one, girl.
Right. Well, as I said, we were bringing different perspectives about what happened. That's Torre. He talks a lot about Carmelo's background. He came from a two-parent household, a faith-based environment. He's the oldest of 4 siblings. He talks about his history and his career. This is what we are talking about. We're giving the perspective of other people and what they think about it. And like I said, the Carl Rittenhouse case was actually mentioned. But we have spent quite a lot of time on this. I have made my point clear. You've made your point clear. We need to move on to the other case because, you know, there's a lot of opinions there. And I saw Texas Paul and other people. It's not just Black people's opinions. It's a multitude of people's opinions on the case. But we have spent a lot of time. And there is also another interview we wanted to bring to you, but we don't have time to bring. The parents have been doing some interviews. One was on the Breakfast Club. But please go and support Touré's platform, Roland Martin's platform. The Breakfast Club has an interview with the parents. We were going to show something today, but we actually don't have enough time because we need to move on to the other case. I don't know what you want to say about this, Golden, but I yield my time to you because I finished on this case and I think we have had quite an extensive discussion on it.
I agree. You know, I absolutely agree. And we will be moving on to the next topic. And one of the things that I want to ask everybody who is here and has decided to join, which we really appreciate, I want to play this next video in this next story. And I want to ask you guys exactly how you feel about the outcome of this one. I want to know if you think that it's fair. And I want to know your thoughts and feelings in a really deep, respectful way. I'm really curious to hear from you. So let's go ahead and get this next video popped up. And I will listen. I will go ahead and, explain to you guys exactly what this video is going to be about. So
which one are we doing? Are we doing the Godfrey one or the Reese one?
No, we're talking about Rick Chow.
Sorry? Yeah. Are we doing the Godfrey's video or are we doing Reese's video?
Okay, which one is going first? You want to know? Okay, this one is actually the news report. Okay, the jury
found. Okay, cool. Yeah, the news report.
Shooting death of Cyrus Carmack-Belton. That's the one we're going to start with. Then we will go over and we'll listen to some commentary from Reese Waters. Then we'll go over and we'll listen to some commentary from Godfrey. And if y'all need a little dose of comedy with a hard pill to swallow, we have that here for you. But let's get into this case because when we're talking about activism, when we're talking about we need justice for all, let's go ahead and pay attention to this case. Let's get into it.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Chike Rick Chow, as to the charge of murder, not guilty.
I don't care what that jury said. There is no justification for that. It should never happen again. And it is not open season on Black people for anybody to feel like they should be able to do it because the jury found him not guilty.
Tonight, the verdict is in. After deliberating for nearly 8 hours, a jury has found Rick Chow not guilty of murder in the death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. And you just heard there from attorney Todd Rutherford, who is representing the Carmack-Belton family. That jury finding Chow not guilty of murder in that shooting death. The verdict again coming nearly 8 hours after deliberations. News 19's Kiki Gushu is in studio tonight with more details. Kiki.
JR, for hours today, it appeared the jury was struggling with this case. They asked to hear definitions of malice and murder again, sent multiple notes to the judge, and at one point, some jurors indicated they were ready to go home. But Judge Heath Taylor kept them deliberating, saying the attention surrounding this case made him reluctant to stop the process once it has started. Then, just before 8:45 tonight, the court announced its verdict.
Indictment number 2023-GS400740, State of South Carolina, County of Richland versus Rick Chow. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Rick Chow, as to the charge of murder, not guilty. Fine number.
The verdict ended a day that began with emotional closing arguments. Prosecutors argued Cyrus Carmack-Belton was a frightened child running for his life.
He died scared. He died bleeding to death. Rick Chow's face being the last one he saw. He died surrounded by strangers.
The defense told jurors the state was ignoring what attorney Sean Kent called the rest of the story. He argued this case was not about a stolen bottle of water, but about a father trying to protect his son.
They made you think the great Rick Chow, this evil human being over here, killed a man over $1. And that is disgusting. That is awful. That is abhorrent, but that's not what happened.
After the verdict, family attorney Todd Rutherford said the family was devastated.
There is no way that a child who did nothing wrong, who is shot in his back, how that jury can justify that verdict. I've been practicing law for almost 30 years. I've never seen anything like this.
Meanwhile, defense attorney Jack Swerling said the jury reached the correct decision.
And I just don't know what any parent would do otherwise. I mean, nobody wants to take anybody's life, but you're going to protect your children. You're going to protect yourself. You're going to protect your wife.
County jail tonight. The Belton family says it will continue pursuing a civil lawsuit, while the defense says the jury's verdict confirmed what they have argued from the start, that Chow acted to defend his son. The Belton's family attorney also called for calm tonight, urging people upset by the verdict to express their feelings peacefully. Live in studio, Kiki Gashu, News 19, WLTX.
All right, Kiki.
I'll pause it right there, Imani, and I'll let you take the lead on this one as well. I mean no harm. I really don't. We just have to be real and truthful about what is really going on in this world. And when we, as Black people, have things that are of concern to us that we need to speak about, we will speak about them, okay, on this channel, on this platform, period. And we will keep it very fair across the board. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world and a society that keeps things fair across the board, which is why we have to keep taking two platforms and podiums and spaces to speak on these things. And I know it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but these are conversations that we need to have. So again, we're arguing in the favor of justice being fair, right? And we're speaking on that despite the fact that the young man, right, that took the young white man's life was in the wrong and some type of justice needs to be served. However, we do know there is inequalities when it comes to the justice system, but we're not saying that he didn't do anything wrong and he should not have to pay some type of price. But we're clearly looking at another story here where you can clearly take the life of a teenage Black boy and get off. No sentence at all. So this is what we're saying. Does that make sense? Does that seem fair to you? This is why we fight and this is why we protest and march and activate. Now, Imani, you can go.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, Golden, the people that are our supporters actually understand what we're doing. They actually understand our reasoning. They actually understand why we show two different stories. They know that this is not just simply, this is about fairness in the justice system. So I don't care who don't like it, don't need to be on this channel watching. You can hate watch if you want to, but there are people that come and support us that understand what we show, and we show both sides of the coin. So I'm not interested in justifying why we're showing a case of a 14-year-old boy who was unalived and was pow-powed in the back and lost his life. We are just showing something else that happened in the US of A, and there are other cases like this, and there's other unfairness that happens. What we're doing is showing two sides of the coin. We did not sympathize with the fact that Carmelo Anthony unalived a boy. We are just showing you a case where a man has pow-powed a young man in the back. He was running away, therefore he was not a threat to that man, and that boy lost his life. That's what we're showing. So you don't need to justify why we're showing the content that we show. We're showing the justice system at work. Okay, and I don't think it warrants, any deep explanation, because there are very, very well-read, people who understand why we're showing what we're showing. Those who don't want to hear it will have left already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that bothered, but it's a very sad story. A young man who lost his life and was pow-powed in the back. It's heartbreaking. You can't, people can't understand. I am going to put up some lines that are help for grief counselling and victim support, and I will be posting those helplines and those signposts in the chat. And I would advise anybody who may feel triggered by this, you might want to take some time out, because it is quite a harrowing story. But we're just showing you what's going on. And I think this verdict happened was it about 3 weeks ago or something? I can't even remember the date. Golden? Can you hear me?
Yeah, my bad, girl. I'm here. I'm sorry. I had to just jot away for just a minute. Just jot away. But I'm right back. Yes, absolutely. So we will be getting into, we have another video. And listen, y'all, I know sometimes it's a lot. It's a lot. It's heavy. We do this type of content over here, and we understand it's triggering for a lot of people. But it's important for us to talk about and have open conversations on it, because this is what is happening in our world and our society. And we have two sides of the coin a lot of time, okay? And we're not unreasonable when it comes to us talking about these things and what we stand for and what we fight for. Yes, we always gonna speak up and stand and fight for our people, but we also understand our people is the human race. So it's all of us. We stand up and fight for everybody, but that's not always the case when it comes to us. Sometimes we get excluded off of people's lists and groups. So what we're saying is, if we're going to have a heavy conversation on one end that everybody wants to chime in on and have so much information and things to say and present, then let's talk about this one. Because what do you think about this, right? As soon as we start talking about this, the thing that tells me all I need to know, people piecing out. There's always people piecing out when it's time to talk about the wrongdoing when it comes to our people and our race and Black and brown people, right? If it happens to you, oh, no problem there, no argument. That's normal. That's supposed to happen, allegedly. I'm not saying nobody feels that way or has, expressed that type of energy, but you wanted to argue down all day and talk down all day when the Black boy was wrong and in trouble. Well, what are we going to talk about this situation right here when an innocent Black boy was gunned down and, cold blood for no reason, possibly and most likely, allegedly, from a racist Asian man? Do we have any facts to bring to the table when it comes to that? Do we have any thoughts, feelings, or opinions when it comes to that? That's the problem that we're having. Yeah, it's easy to dogpile when the Black boy is the one that's in trouble. But when do you sit down and understand that we getting done like this, been done like this, keep getting done like this, and this is why activism exists, right? And this is why we decide we want to be activists or speak on these things and bring these things to the forefront, because nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody has a thought, a feeling, or opinion about it. Everybody got to go. Everybody's busy, right? Okay. We see it. We see it. We see it. We get it. It's not
Golden,
important.
sorry, can I just cut you? The people who are important are here. The people, I don't care. The people.
I agree.
The people
I agree. But I'm not speaking to those people. I'm speaking to the people that chuck up the
That's
deuces.
why I'm saying we don't care about the ones that have left. We care about the people that stay and want to hear. Don't you know? They're not important. But you understand? They're not important.
Right. I agree. And it's so respected and so appreciated because it's like, yo, this is what we're talking about. And I also want to tie in these factors as well. When it comes to activism and speaking up for what is right, I want to make it very clear. Yes, I do that. I'm not saying I'm an activist. I don't have no nonprofit. I don't have no organizational group or anything. But I speak for what's right. And speaking for what's right means sometimes I have to speak against my own. And do you think that is something that's like I want to do? No, but it's something that must be done because right is right, wrong is wrong, fair is fair. That's it, period. All we're asking is, can other people see it through that lens as well? But anyway, I don't want to talk too much because I'm getting too triggered by all of this. I want to just go ahead and play this video. This is Reese Waters. Shout out to Reese Waters. Please go and check out his channel. Subscribe. He is excellent when it comes to presenting political coverage, some of the things that we are dealing with on an activism level when it comes to Black issues and, yes, racism. And he also is a stand-up comedian. So, child, he give it to you with a dose of comedy. So I'll make it light for y'all at the end here. We're going to have Reese Waters, who does stand-up comedy, and then we'll have Godfrey, who does stand-up comedy, but also equally activist at the same time. And so we'll end it on a lighter note, y'all. Let's get into this video. I'll meet y'all in the chat.
I couldn't wait to get home and do this video. This crackerjack right here, he was talking to y'all. He wasn't talking to me. You know why he wasn't talking to me? Because I shop Black owned.
I mean, my house is Black owned. How about it? My house is Black. This room is Black owned. I'm going to work on it, ma'am. I'm going to work on it. By the way, I can hear that accent. Congratulations on the Knicks. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
I want to see your own woman get on their hands and knees and do pedicures and manicures and deal with nasty attitudes, okay? Please, boycott Asian business. I'm all for it.
Oh, no, we gonna get there. These are the kind of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, first, a little background. As I'm sure you guys have seen, we just talked right here on this platform about the case of Cyrus Carmack-Belton and Rick Chow.
Today, a Richland County jury found Rick Chow not guilty in the shooting death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton, bringing an end to one of the most closely watched criminal trials in South Carolina in recent years.
We lost a child, a 14-year-old boy.
What dollar, bro? They took a life for $1.
No justice on these dead homies 60.
The verdict has immediately sparked outrage. We are here at 7441 Park Lane Road where the shooting occurred, and the outrage has spread across Columbia and across social media, where many residents have expressed grief, anger, and disbelief over the outcome.
And you know what? The people are still outside. Now, in the aftermath, there were calls for protests, there were calls for community action, and there were calls for boycotts, all of which I can understand, because that is the reaction when a community's voice isn't heard. What I couldn't have predicted was this response.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and hip hop culture. Where do you think that's made? That's made all in Asia. And here's another thing for you guys. You guys want us to leave the neighborhoods so bad? Oh, Asian people are not neighborhoods. We're in white neighborhoods. We have our own Chinatown. We have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money? A lot of us do go to college as well. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed? Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people. I want to see your own women get on their hands and knees and do pedicures and manicures and deal with nasty ass attitudes, okay? Please boycott Asian business. I'm all for it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's take a pause right there. Let's take a pause right there. Imani, do you want to lead on this one, or you want me to go? Thank you so much. I see you're posting, the
No, I'm busy. I'm busy posting certain websites. Okay.
You go first, and then
you take the lead on this. You take the lead on this. I'm busy posting some websites. I will go. I will talk on the after the next one. I'll talk on the next one. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll speak from the heart, not from what the Chat GPT or the Google Gemini notes. Is that what they try to say? Let's just speak from the heart. So I'm from the city, the inner city. Grew up in the city, right? Been to a lot of establishments and go to the establishments where there are, a lot of Asian owned companies and businesses. Let's be very clear. Okay, yeah, we go to your businesses. We do. When we go there, and one of the things I noticed, even in my own hometown, child, they got some type of way or energy when you come in the store that they don't really like you and they don't really trust you. And I'm not saying that's all Asian people, but I'm saying these ones with these businesses that believe they're above, because they have something that they're offering that they know that you need and you want, and you come to get it. So yeah, nail salons, getting your nails done, getting your toes done, going into the beauty supply shops to get your hair and your hair supplies and all of those things. Absolutely. Have we not been met with racism when we go into those stores? Half of the time they don't greet you when you come in. They follow you around the store. I've experienced this as a Black woman. So the fact that he want to sit out there and make this rant, right, to defend himself and whatever it is that he's gotten caught in, which we know is a crime. You want to defend yourself against crimes and people boycotting your business, and not that he's been caught in crime, but you want to boycott. You want to talk about people who are boycotting your business because of your talking points, right? Because people are fed up. They're fed up with having to walk in and not be respected, not be greeted, not be met with any type of level of like, hello, how are you? How you doing? Child, my mom's going to come on talking a little bit because I get outraged and y'all know how I get. And I want this to be a very productive show, right? I don't want my alter ego to come out. Not today. Not today, Lord. I got to stay golden, queen. But when we talk about these things and we bring these to the platform and we have these type of conversations, we're not talking about it for no reason. We live the experiences. And so I know about going to the Chinese restaurant where they look down and they don't even look you in the eye and you're coming in there to purchase food from their restaurant. I've walked into beauty supply stores, of course, to get hair, weave, tracks, wigs, whatever it is, ponytails, accessories, and they act like you're not even there. So don't, my thing is, stand your ground. Be 10 toes down on your hate, right? Like, be 10 toes down on who it is you are as a person and how you really feel about another race or group of people. Every time I walk into any of those establishments, I had a wallet full of cash or a debit card that was loaded up, ready to pay. I wasn't coming in there to steal. I wasn't coming there to take nothing for free. But they technically look at you because you're black and they think that's what you're going to do. Now, could it be PTSD because some people do that? Perhaps. But every single black person walk through the door, you feel like every single black person who walks through the door is going to do that. That's what I don't like. And I got to get real with it, down with it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. It continues to go on. So now we got Asian people out here unaliving black kids. And you think like, oh, what? We're not supposed to talk about it. It's not a thing. Why? Even if you wanted to chase them up out of your store, did you have to chase them up out of there with a bullet? Let's be real about the racism. And I'm speaking from the United States because all this stuff is happening in the United States, but these things may happen in other countries as well. But I'm speaking from my country right now. We know what goes on in this country. We know the hate. And then for him to sit up here and talk about, like, literally talking out the side of his tongue. You want to sit up here and tell us, oh, get your own. Go do this, go do that. Ask the people why we can't. Ask them why it's 10 times as harder for us than it is for you as an immigrant to come to this country and be able to get a business in our neighborhoods before we're able to get one. Talk about that. And I'm sorry, I'm getting loud. The people are getting upset and they're getting scared and they're running away. That's fine. Run. Because that's what you do. Because you don't want to stand 10 toes down and realize the truth. This is the truth. So don't you dare sit up here and tell me or any other black person, why don't you have your own establishment, your own business? Why you can't get a business loan? You ask them why we can't get it. They don't give it to us. And guess what? A lot of us ain't never been to prison. We ain't been to jail. And I'm not saying that you should be held against the will to getting any of those things if you've been in those places, but that's typically what they say, right? But you can be an average person who hasn't done anything wrong, decent credit score, black person, and try to go in and get a business loan. What you think they're going to do? You think they're going to give it to you? So you can, what did you think that they did on Black Wall Street?
We did that. We built something.
We tried it. They burnt the shit the fuck to the ground. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I have to let loose here for a minute. You're not going to sit up here and play in black people's faces like we are not capable of having our own businesses and our own wealth. So we don't have to come to motherfucking stores.
Can I
see
say
the motherfucking
something?
likes of you and your racism. We want our own shit. Have it. And now I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Let mama take over. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, and I won't do it.
It's okay.
Can I just say something? It's not the view of all, please, because this gives the impression it's the view of all. I understand the emotion, but this is not the view of all Asians in America. Golden, we have to be clear about that.
Clear. Hi, my name is Mama Boy, Gigi Fox. I want to go on and piggyback that. Yes, we're not saying all, it's some. But being from, okay, let me just share this. Being from where we are from, we come from a city. And within that city, my daughter was born in the city, I was born in the same city. We have went through many, many situations and racial problems and insults, and happen to fight, happen to defend yourself, happen to protect yourself. We've been in situations like that. And when you are an individual, including yourself, Imani, when we have been in those situations, yes, we are a little bit more passionate. When we hear imbeciles like the man that was just speaking, and when we hear imbeciles, no, I'll be kind with that. I'm going to leave that one out. But when we hear imbeciles speak this way, and you say to yourself, even in the name of Jesus, I'll go there. You say to yourself, Lord God, when will this be over? Only to find that every time you lift your head up, it's not going to be over. It's not over. And it has gotten worse in this environment and time zone that we're in presently today. You have an administration and a president who is condoning this, who is inviting this, who is saying this is okay and this is the way we shall treat them, they, black. This is the way minorities, so let's say minorities, black and minority. This is the way you can treat them. And this is being spread all over the United States. This is being spread everywhere. And so there comes a time when they'll say, well, get over it. Turn the other cheek. Just ask the Lord's forgiveness and, pray. And it gets to a point after a while. One wears tired of that. Turning your back, putting your hand over your ear like you didn't hear it, closing your eyes like you don't see it. I mean, after a while, it gets to be enough. It gets to be enough. And we can't really react and come out and do anything about this. But the one thing we do have is a voice. We have a mouth to express how we feel, be it a good, wonderful feeling, be it a bad, horrible feeling. But we have a mouth and we have freedom of speech. They have freedom of speech to say whatever thine will say to us. We have freedom of speech to say how we feel about these things. And I don't see why we should be running away from each other. Oh God, don't say that. Oh no, don't talk about that. No, don't do this, don't do that. After a while, we have to get it off our chest. You know, if you put too much air in a balloon, it busts. So if you put too much insult in us, you put too much hatred toward us, you put too much prejudice and racism toward us, and we keep taking it in, just like the helium in the balloon, we take it in, we burst. And that's what Golden just did a few minutes ago. She had to burst for a little while. She has the intelligence to know that she's not going to harm anyone, but she has a voice to express what disturbs her sleep at night. Even myself. Do you think I like the way my people are being treated? Around, I'll say it again, around the world. Not just here where I abide, around the world. Did I like seeing my first lady and our first president depicted as apes and monkeys? Did that not break my heart? Did that not tear my soul? Yes, it did. I am a black person, a black woman. I'm proud to be one. My mother taught me, hold your head up no matter what. I hold my head up. I hold my pride up. And I hold my mouth up. Because my mom says, you have to speak what you feel. You have to speak it. You have to let it out. We cannot hold it in. And when we're showing these videos, we're showing you so that you can see the comparison and the contrast of the different cases. If this man was allowed to unalive a 14-year-old boy and have nothing, no charges, no jail time, no fine, no probation, nothing. So what's the prerequisite of that? Is that telling us? Let me ask you, do you believe we, as African Americans, Black people, minorities, do you think we can go out there and unalive someone and come back with no charges whatsoever? Can we do it? Will that ever happen in a courtroom for us? No.
Right.
No, that's not going to happen.
And I'm back.
And when we look at the
case.
Carmelo, when we look at him, can you see it? Do you see what we're talking about? Although his was a I and the other one had an un. All right. But are you doing the comparison and the contrast? Can you do the comparison and the contrast? That's all we're trying to do here.
Be fair.
Be fair. I get 40 years, you get 40 years. I get 60 years, you get 60 years for the same exact crime.
It needs to be fair across the board.
That's
what
fair
we're fighting
justice. Fair justice. No peace, no justice, true, but also fair justice. It's what we want. We want respect. We want to be treated in a dignified way as we will treat others. We want that too. And we just get tired and tired and tired.
Sick and tired.
And that's all I needed to say right there.
I'll calm down. Don't worry.
But I can understand Golden's outburst. I am her mother. I am a Black woman, just like my daughter. I have been known to blow up too, and she's had to calm me down. You know.
Yeah.
But we do have freedom of speech. We have to speak what we speak, because if we hold it in, that's not good. That's not good. So we have to express it.
And reporting on this type of stuff is not easy. Let's be very clear about that.
Right. This is very triggering subject.
So a lot of people get up here and they feel like, oh, I can do what they do. I can sit up here, I can talk about these things. Can you really? Can you really? We haven't seen you do it. And let me explain to you, it's not very easy to do, especially when it comes to cases and things that we have to report on like this. Because this is what happened. You explode. You get upset. Because it's what you live every day and it's what you know. So when you come to do content like this and talk about these things, these are things that are happening. You know that you are affected by it, especially based off of your race, the color of your skin, where you reside.
Your children, your mother, your parents.
And I'm not saying anybody else's struggles is not struggles as well, and they don't go through things too. But I'm saying when we talking about our stuff, sit tight. We got this. We'll handle it. We'll speak on it because it's what we live every single day. And we talk about it because we think it's important to talk about. Now, other people go through things and experiencing things and, in their own countries and stuff like that. They don't want to make that type of content. That's the content that we make. So be very clear. It's not easy to make this content. It's not easy to sit up here and talk about these things with a clear face and a clear energy, because it makes you angry, because you go outside to buy something for your son and you still experience racism in these stores to this day. Yes, 2026. So you will not sit up here and make me or any other Black person feel like we don't get to sit up here and speak about these experiences with a level of rage, with a level of anger, being fed up, wanting to still be an activist that's going to try to bring it all together and piece it all together. Wait a minute, Imani. Piece it all together, because what we really would like to see is world peace. What we really would like to see is everybody get along. Nobody be treated differently. Black people not get treated different. Brown people not get it treated different. That's what be the goal, right? Nobody anywhere being treated bad. That is the goal. That's the activism. That's what we want.
So for these individuals, don't you dare sit up there with that mouth and tell me and any of my people that we know less than what you do when it comes to Black people experience. Never will. And don't you dare sit up there with that mouth and tell us that we are not out here fighting and speaking because we want equality. We want equality. We want peace for all, for us all to be able to love one another and get along. But in order to get there, you know what? You got to be honest with the reality. And the reality is it's not fair. It's not equal. And until that happens, we won't stop talking about it. Imani, you can take the floor. I'm about to take a break. You're not unmuted, Imani. You can go ahead and unmute and you can take the floor. I'll be right back. I need to take a break.
Sorry. The issue is, Golden, I don't give 2, 3, or 4 Fs what we talk about. I don't take note of what ignorant people say about this content. What's understood does not need to be explained. And those who understand this and understand why we're bringing this forward are not the ones saying that we are creating division. We are bringing facts to the table. I never walk out without something to back up what I'm saying. I do not project things to attack people. I will deliver the content as we have discussed. And I'm not taking note of any bitter housewife who feels she wants to spread a narrative when there are important issues going on. I told you, we move, they move, because they can only make content based on misinformation and misquoting narratives that we're talking about, because grown ass people are only here to try and create division. I come from a very multicultural place. I have traveled the world. That's why I, like yourself, who does a lot of research and a lot of reading, understand people that have different experiences. And like I said the other day, I am not dancing with people who don't even have the intelligence to listen to what we're saying and listen to why we're reporting. I am not going to be labeled as something I have never been. I teach diversity. I teach understanding other cultures. I don't need some bitter housewife to be telling me that I'm creating division when they're the person who's always attacking people and calling them racist, because they don't actually understand how important it is to use that word against people. And someone who can actually put a picture of a Black woman and say she's tied to the KKK and think that only affects one Black person. What I'm telling you is I don't dance with idiots. You don't know the steps, you don't know the dance, so I don't care. So I'm not going to take note of what you and all your trolls in your account are saying. I am clear about what I say. People know that I'm clear of what I say. I actually speak slowly because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not getting up and dancing for an idiot who the only thing that she has to do is look at other people's business. We know why we bring this content. We're showing what's happened. Yes, it's emotional, but we're just bringing facts to the table. We're bringing videos that are showing what we're talking about. I really don't need to speak about idiots. I've been speaking about the rise of the far right. Anybody who has come and listened to my political commentary, which comes from having to study global politics and global economics because of my job. That's why I can speak about different countries. And I've probably visited most of those countries and know how economies work. So I don't have to justify myself to someone whose only concern is looking at people's court documents and using them as a stick to beat them. You're not in my league, lady, and you never have been and you never will be. So all I'm saying is I'm not apologizing for the content we bring. We came together We looked at the content you wanted to bring to the table, and that's what we do. We try and deliver it. On different days, we talk about different things. We had a great live about celebrity. We're going to do Black history. I'm not moving because some idiot is jealous and spiteful and toxic. And the only thing she can do is wait for us to go live so she can have a commentary and mislead everybody about what we're saying. This is a heartbreaking story. This causes emotion. I'm just very much used to delivering these kind of stories. I'm very much used to dealing with young people in the system. I have been a victim of crime. I've had a young person that we lost in our life just 2 years ago who was unalived by someone. So I know the pain on both sides. So there's no need to have to explain this to people that understand. Our audience understands what we're doing. Our audience understands your emotions. I'm not explaining to an idiot who wants to be in the black tea sector and doesn't even know who Kelly Price is. Please, come on. Anyway, on that note, are we going on with the video?
Yes, let's play some more of the video, girl.
Yeah.
That was great. Let's get back into it. We're almost done.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Oh, we gonna slow cook this one. Sir, did you just dare Black people to boycott? Is that what you just did? Of all the people that you could dare to boycott, you daring Black people to boycott? Ask Target about us.
80 mil in losses. That's crazy. Just go ahead and bankrupt the place. Just go ahead and bankrupt the place. Target. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think y'all gonna shake back.
In fact, the word boycott here in America is synonymous with the civil rights movement, the Black civil rights movement, which we'll circle back around to that. And you want to dare us to boycott? That's like daring an NBA ref to blow a call at the end of a playoff game. That's what we do. That's what we do. And here's another thing that I didn't understand. You seem to have a lot of things to reference for why Black people would be unable to somehow boycott, which means that there's a whole lot of money being extracted from the Black community. If there's that much money being extracted from the Black community, that means it would be missed. So is it that you're perfectly fine without the Black community, or you're so entrenched in the Black community that you are definitely hustling backwards? Yeah, that part. And I noticed you mentioned a lot of brands, but you didn't mention your business. You didn't mention your business. Are you messing up other people's money just so you can be racist? It was that deep?
I just passed by a boycott of an Asian hair store here in Houston. And immediately when I get on TikTok, I see a post of a young gentleman saying people all over the country are boycotting Asian hair stores and Asian nail salons because of what happened to Cyrus. The most liked comment said, why punish other businesses that had nothing to do that? And my response to that is very simple, because I can't look at the color of your skin to determine whether you're friend or foe. For years, y'all have looked at the color of our skin and looped us all as criminals, as has-beens. We ain't gonna never be nothing, and we are tired. But when we do it to you, it's a problem. But Drea, we're not all like that. And I understand that you're not all like that, but I am not willing to walk into another store or into another business that don't have somebody that look like me to find out that you're not one of the cool ones. What do? We stop going to all of your establishments. We start supporting our own, period. I'm about to start putting together a series of Black Wall Street Zooms that is free, that is for everybody in the Black community that can come and start learning about resources in your area for you to support your own people. And I know that there's an app out there that you can go to. I'm not talking about no app. I'm talking about real conversations, real people that you can connect to in your area.
Oh, yeah. The real people came outside and they let their voices be heard. Yeah, no, we gonna end there. We gonna end there. We gonna deal with this first.
Y'all, we need to start checking motherfuckers' degrees. We need to start checking motherfuckers' degrees. Because I'm not believing that motherfuckers are as smart as the world wants us to believe that they are. Let me tell you what these Asian motherfuckers have said, y'all, because this gonna blow y'all mind. These motherfuckers said, how the fuck we gonna boycott the place that we steal from? If your business been in business in our neighborhood for 20, 30 years, and we know that they have been there for 20, 30 motherfucking years, how does a business sustain itself with no income and no customers if we stealing shit? Because if we stealing everything and we don't bring money to the business, right? Because that's what y'all saying. That's why we can't boycott, because we stealing every damn thing. Then where your money coming from? How y'all making money?
Y'all want us to start asking them questions? Huh? Hey, that's what hey, ask him where your money went. Ask him where your money went, because he decided he wanted to dare the black people to boycott. Holla at your boy.
How y'all making money? Is it because you got people in the business doing sucky for $5 and loving people long time and providing happy endings?
Ma'am, you was cooking. What? Just skip past that part.
I can't believe y'all let the little Asian T-sip the motherfucker on this app talking about that black people boycott Asian businesses. They're going to take away the laundromat. There ain't a black person alive that don't know how to stomp their clothes in the tub and get them whole clean. And plus, most of us got washers and dryers. Well, we'll take away the liquor stores. Who the fuck you think the original bootleggers are? We might not have that, but we gonna get drunk, nigga. We'll be all right. We know how to make moonshine and all kind of shit. Well, what about the Chinese drive-through? If I wanted a dog that bad, you know how many strays run around this in America.
You ain't even. We can keep the high ground here. You realize that. We have all of the high ground. You don't need to sacrifice that. Matter of fact, let me see. Has he responded? He deleted it? No. Hey, did you notice his coward deleted all of his social media accounts, like his Instagram and Twitter too? Not just his TikTok. He needs to stand all 10 toes down in that vitriol. He deleted all his social media accounts. And you know what? When I was searching for his accounts, all I could find was videos where he was mentioned, where he was tagged, and things where people had responded to stuff that he had posted. And it was all anti-black. This guy been just standing on anti-blackness for a minute. So help me out with this. So you've been out here coming for black people in your corner of the internet. And now when you get a little bit of shine for your anti-blackness, you go run and delete all of your accounts. Well, that don't make any sense now, does it? If this is how you feel, you know what I mean? They're not standing on racism no more.
These communities, this is why I say it's such a dangerous thing to call us people of color. I think we made the biggest mistake by saying people of color. Don't group us. Black people are in one corner, everybody else is against us. Let's make it very clear. This is why I say I need to know who my allies are. You see how he felt so bold? Yes. You know he's supported by the community. You know the white people support him. You know everybody else think this way of us. So stop grouping us as people of color. We are the black people. We are belonging in one group. Okay, we don't belong in no group with any other minority, because Asian guy, if you're so bold, if you don't need the black dollar, here's the thing. Do what the white people did back in history when they hated us so much that they didn't even want our money. So how about you go create those businesses in the white neighborhoods? I'll wait. Okay, you can't. Exactly. Because they won't allow you to go build those businesses in their neighborhoods and circulate your dollar there, right? You have to come to our neighborhoods so you can circulate your money in our neighborhoods. This is why I tell black people we need to keep the money circulating back in the black economy, black entertainers, black people that are celebrities, whatever you call it. Y'all need to understand that it's them against us, and we need to make sure that the dollar is circulating back into our own economy, because everybody feels so bold to call us out. Everybody is saying, oh, I bet you they won't spend their dollar here and there. Show them what we can do. Okay,
That's what that
we
was.
own this.
Right. That was a call to action. That was a call to say, prove me wrong.
Now, I do want to say this as far as the idea of it's them against us. The them certainly isn't the Asian community when it comes to the big picture. The frustration here comes from communities that are outside of the power structure, not recognizing their mutual position and doing what they can.
Thank you. I'm going to stop it right there because I want to be very clear exactly what Reese is about to say. And we're going to let him finish. But this is the thing that we're having a problem with as of recently. When you say they say they, and they feel as though they is just us black people. But they don't understand. You're part of they. You're in the they as well. And so it's really cool and, you know, things for you that you feel as though you can look down on us. You can treat us bad. You can talk about us. Look how your businesses is going to shut down if we stop coming to them. Who's the they? Is it you? Is it us? Is it all of us? Because we don't have to, like they said, we don't have to come shopping at your businesses. We don't have to come get your Chinese food, your Asian food, whatever the food is, restaurant you got. We ain't got to come to your beauty supply store. We don't have to come to any of those things. They're in our neighborhood. We don't have to come there. We can walk right past and not buy nothing. And how long you think it's going to be up? And if it stays up, do you still consider yourself them or they? Like, what are we talking about here? You are us too. They don't like you either. What do you not understand about that? Oh, but we're supposed to be at the lowest of the totem pole. You somewhere there on notch 2. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get it because they allow y'all to get loans and businesses and neighborhoods and stuff, the impoverished neighborhoods and the ghetto neighborhoods at that.
They're not long ago, got that.
They really don't want you in their neighborhood. They really don't want you around.
No.
So the racism for me, it doesn't stop. Like we can't draw a line when it comes to, because there's too many people that's thinking all racism is only against black people. That's not true. That's not true. They don't like you either. They don't want you around either. Why do you think they let you set up shops and businesses in the black impoverished communities? What are you not understanding?
They don't want you in the suburbs.
They will discard you quickly as well. And the only reason why your businesses are moving and shaking is because we're there and you're in our communities. So we go to your businesses, we buy your stuff, we support you because you're there. What if we decide not to? Will you be there anymore? Watch your mouth, watch your tongue, period. Anyway, Imani, you got anything to say before we play some more of this video and get up off of this live? Because I don't think I can do this no more.
I actually thought we were going to finish here because it's I thought we would let people go and watch the video on Reese's channel, if that's okay, because it's getting quite late for me.
That sounds great. I know it's getting late there for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm having a moment. So let's go ahead and end it right
I
here.
mean, please go and support Reese Waters. He does some comedy takes on political situations, but he's also a very serious guy. Also, who else did we have? We spoke about who else is Roland Martin has some great political breakdowns. And listen during the week because we listen to quite a few people like Midas Touch, I've Had It, Brian Tyler Cohen, MS Now, Fox News. We take our news from everywhere, including the BBC. And at the weekend, we do a global political breakdown. We're introducing shows slowly as we go along. We do introduce, it depends on where it is in the world. If it's something important, we will report on it. But we will have a global breakdown at the weekends. And I'm not sure, but we're going to probably have to move our Black History for this week because we want to do This Week in Black History globally and for the US. We'll probably move that till tomorrow. What do you think?
I don't know, girl. We'll see. Cause y'all,
Yeah, we may
these
come
topics
back
are
tonight
starting to
and do
really.
this week in Black History, but yeah, we got some other stuff to do, and we've got, guess what, Jag? We're gonna give you an oxtail recipe because we don't want you to have to
I want to
do
do
what you had
food.
before.
We'll do food and we'll do some recipes and something fun. Because talking about all
Yeah.
of this racism and all of that with people who don't understand, it really grinds my
No, I
gears.
think there are many people who understand it, Golden, please. There are a lot of people who understand it, and the people who don't understand it, we don't care about. That's it. That's all. There's a lot of people who support this
Understand when it
conversation.
comes to racism, when we have to get about it, or I have to get about it and loud and emotional about it,
You're
then
actually
don't judge me for it.
presuming that people don't understand, and they do. And I'm gonna keep telling you, I don't care. They understand. Those who want to understand, understand. Those who don't, we don't care. That's it. That's all. We don't have to. That's all. Those
I
who don't
appreciate.
understand, we don't care about. There are
But I
people that
don't mean
understand.
to, like, crash out or nothing like that. But it's just like I don't feel like it's a crash out. I feel like it's like, yo, it's emotion, it's years of emotion. I'm only 35. My mom is 63. We've been dealing with this our whole life. So when we have to come out and speak on these matters, and we live in the United States, it's very different. It's very different, and we done going through a lot. A
Yeah, I
lot.
know. This is why we're yin and yang. What I'm actually trying to say is never make the assumption that people don't understand. There are plenty of people who understand. There's someone who was grateful of what we said the other week. Please don't give up hope on humanity. People do understand. Those who are talking are the ones who need to think about where they're coming from. I'm not interested in them. People understand why we're having these conversations. The ones who don't, we don't care about. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, let's go ahead and end it with a good note, y'all. So, we're not gonna continue with all of this tension and energy and whatnot. But thank y'all for tapping in, okay? And unfortunately, for me, I proved this to be true. But the world will try to force you into a state of constant reaction. But remember who you are building into. Keep your peace, protect your spirit, and we will see y'all on the next live stream. Now, I have these beautiful things to say and these quotes that I know that are true, but every
Listen,
now and then, it's
as
like, yo,
people can see, we keep it real. We keep it real. This is how we talk on a normal
real, baby.
day-to-day basis. That's why we are kind of a bit yin and yang. Sometimes I have to sort of ooh, sir
Right.
for her.
And please calm down. Because child, not, and it be too much sometimes. That's what I'm saying. Like, you think that bringing this type of content is easy? It's not easy. It's not easy because you have to stay, you have to keep yourself prestige. You have to keep yourself as a
See,
reporter, to be
can I just say
non-biased.
something? Mum Star wants the oxtail recipe.
Girl, let me tell you, girl, I am going to do a pot of oxtails for real. Because I know how to cook oxtails down to the bone. And that's how they're supposed to be cooked. When they literally falling off the bone. Tasty, tasty. Maybe we'll do a cooking show where I'll make some really good oxtails, y'all. But the only thing is, I don't eat them and y'all won't. And I'll be like teasing y'all. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I'll make some
Yeah, you
oxtails.
do an oxtail and rice and peas recipe. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
girl,
we
right?
have got some. We have got some cooking stuff. We're gonna do some nice food and fun, food and fun. We do history
Right.
tomorrow. I think that'd be great. Yeah.
How about when we do the food, like when I do my cooking videos, we'll do like food stuff, like where we do like our virtual tours or whatnot, and check out different cooking shows and food things. But when I do my recipes and stuff like that, and I'm actually cooking, I'll put that on TikTok. How about that?
Yeah, I think you should do some of those food and fun shows on TikTok. And she's got some lovely shorts that will be coming. There's going to be a few things that are coming. As we're ready to do some of these shows, we'll let you know. But she's going to do food and fun, and she's going to have lots of stuff coming out. So keep keep your eye on the channel. There will be new and improved, not new and improved, just some new stuff that we're doing and some stuff we're going to try out. But yeah, you definitely need to do the cooking shows because this girl can cook because she went to culinary school. Didn't you, girl?
Exactly. Yeah, I was trying to tell people, child. I'm like, I don't have to just DoorDash. I know how to throw down in the kitchen now. I know a pot and a utensil. I know how to use it. And I know how to throw some food up in there and make it rock. But anyway, yeah, so when we do, yeah, I did go to
Start. I'm rolling every time you say, give us a warning about the oxtail.
I'm gonna give you a warning about the oxtail, child. We're gonna do an oxtail recipe, like a cooking video. For real. I'm gonna do a cooking video. Now y'all gotta give me a minute because you know them oxtails right now, especially where the economy is at, they've always been expensive and they're even more expensive, but it's cool. I'll find a way to get them. But I'm gonna buy the oxtails. I'm gonna do a cooking video, y'all. We're gonna I can make it with the rice and peas, like you said. I like rice and peas with the oxtails. And I like plantains on my oxtails too. Do you like it like that, Imani? With the plantains on the side?
Um, mm, I eat plantain, but I eat it with different stuff. But really, it's
I
not.
like it with
It wouldn't be
curry.
an automatic for my oxtail, if you see what I mean. But oxtail,
Yeah.
rice and peas, coleslaws, all sorts of stuff. You can mix and match whatever you want. And
Yeah.
and one of my favorites is macaroni and cheese as well. That is another thing. Macaroni and cheese.
Baked
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese. Yeah, you gotta have that baked macaroni and cheese. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really,
I
really
love
good.
macaroni and cheese. And the thing is, my Sunday dinner or Sunday dinner has a bit of everything. It's kind of like I'll have roast potatoes, I'll have rice and peas, I'll have coleslaw, I'll have mac and cheese. I may have, depending on what the meat is, because my partner Chris does not eat meat. He is he's vegetarian, he's pescatarian rather. So he really eats fish. If fish is not available, he will eat chicken if he has to, but mainly
He's
he eats fish.
desperate. He'll get some chicken, but he really don't. He don't
Yeah.
want to be eating.
So there's that
Yeah.
whole thing about cooking fish because I hate the smell of cooking fish, and you have to tie your hair and everything because the smell of fish cooking, that's another thing that does me. But yeah, we can do that. We can show some recipes. That'll be funny. But
That
you're the one
sounds
who's
fun.
going to do the demonstration, girl.
Yeah, girl, I'm gonna get up in the kitchen and the kitchen wrist twist up like it's stir fry. Yeah, I'm gonna get up in the kitchen and whip it up for real. We'll do that and
Yeah,
we'll do it on TikTok. So I think that'll be
yeah,
good. We'll come back. We'll do some more cooking videos on
yeah. I
TikTok.
mean,
And,
cooking
that'll
is
be
so
dope.
much easier now with with the pots that you get and the pressure cooker. I mean, I remember cooking oxtail without a pressure cooker before. It used to take years,
Right.
ages, or even soup.
Learn
Making
how to
soup
cook the
without a
rice
pressure pot.
without letting the rice scorch on the bottom. You had to cook the rice from the pot. Now they got rice cookers. So you ain't got to worry
Yeah.
about all that. You know,
But
all of
some
those
people
different.
actually like the burnt part of the rice. We call it bun bun. The bun, the
Oh,
burnt part.
what's that
Some
called?
people
Bun
love
bun?
that part.
Oh, you like it? The burnt part.
No, I don't, but I know some people
Oh,
that like that part, the rice, the burnt part. It's just weird.
oh,
The taste. Yeah, very taste.
I like a burnt hot dog. Is that weird?
I don't eat pork, so it depends on what the meat is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't eat pork.
You know, like you
But the
fry a
good
hot
thing
dog in
is
the
now you
pan.
can get chicken, you can get beef, you can get, you can get everything now. You can get vegetarian dogs as well.
Right, child. No, listen. Like, yo, I've tried some vegan items or whatnot. I've got them because I was just curious. I was like, yo, let me try. I've had Beyond Burger, Beyond Chicken Nugget, Beyond Hot Dog, things like that. So it'd be like vegan meat based things, and I've tried them. And
Oh,
some of them is okay. You gotta dox them up a little bit, but they all right.
yeah,
But
Mumstar, it's a pain. Sorry, I was just talking to Mumstar. It's a pain having someone that does, yeah, he doesn't eat, doesn't eat meat, so he won't eat oxtail. So I have to make sure, that you do the right measures. He doesn't eat beef, he doesn't eat lamb, doesn't eat any of those things. Difficult person to cater for. And
Right.
if pressed, he will eat chicken only if he has to. But
Yeah. Chicken is like that's where they draw the line. Like, yo, I'll do chicken
yeah,
with nothing else. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a tough one. He won't
That
even
is.
eat meat gravy. He won't even have meat gravy on his food.
Oh, okay. Is that
Yeah.
a religious thing or a health thing, or it's none of our business, honestly? So you don't have to
No, no,
answer that.
no. He's never put it this way. He doesn't. You know, we all gave up pork a long time ago when we were in our righteous phase. But then he's gradually removed meat. When he was Russ, he didn't eat, you know, red meat anyway. But he's gradually
Right.
removed it from his diet. He doesn't even eat dairy. You know, doesn't
So
eat
it's for
dairy.
health.
Doesn't eat bread. It's just
Good.
it's not really a religious thing. It's just he's changed his diet as he's gotten older.
Change his diet
You
for
know.
health. Yeah, he want to be better and healthy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
he's never ill, and he's not been ill. He just changed his diet and removed certain things from his diet. Doesn't really do dairy. Doesn't really do a lot of stuff. You know, which makes it difficult when you go to certain restaurants. But restaurants are getting a lot better at catering for,
right.
you know, the alternative nutrition. You know, it's a lot better
Yeah,
now than it used to
they have.
be.
Yeah, they definitely got other options in the restaurants and stuff. Now, I think that's how you have a really good restaurant business. You make sure you have something for everybody who walks through the door. So, you know, they're doing that now. So that's great. And then Mom Star was like, so Golden is making us oxtails. Yeah, I'm gonna make the oxtail. I'm gonna make the oxtail, Joe. But yeah, so
Yeah.
before we move out, girl, and we close this out, we out about 3 hours. Do you have any final thoughts on all the things that we talked about today? I do have a closing message to end with, and then after that, we'll go ahead and just play some, bops on the way out. But did you have
Um,
anything you wanted to talk about?
what I was gonna say is, you know, as with everything, politics can be stressful. You know, we talked about justice, we talk about division, we talked about fear and pain, but we can leave, you know, sometimes if we're not careful, we can leave carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. But before we go, headlines are not the whole story, because whilst the news shows us a lot of conflict, a lot of injustice, every single day, ordinary people are still choosing to be kind. You know, someone checked on their elderly neighbor, somebody worked 2 jobs to keep food on the table, somebody forgave someone, you know, what they did to them, someone got out of bed when they were feeling depressed and they had a really good day, and somebody decided not to give up. And it doesn't matter who that somebody was. Don't let this world convince you that darkness is winning, because it will never win, because we have resistance to it. We have compassion. We have good people. We have love winning over hatred. And we're pushing back against division. And we choose integrity over lies. We choose truth. We choose peace over chaos. And everybody out there is trying to make this world a little better than they found it. So protect your peace, as I always say. We love you. We thank you for your support. And we'll see you again, and extend grace to people where you can. I know sometimes it sounds like I don't extend grace. What I do say is I'm not prepared to tolerate BS and, you know, narratives that do not apply to me, in my world, in my life, in my family and my friends, and the people that come to listen to our lives, because that's not who we
Right.
are, that's not who I am, and I don't give 2, 3, or 4 F's. If you think that, that's your problem. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. I love it. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. So yes, y'all, we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Let me just go ahead and thank everybody who rocked with us this long. Sorry for my outburst. I hope you understand where the passion and the anger does come from is many, many years of things that are happening, when it comes to, racism and things like that. But I don't want to talk too much more about it. But anyway, yeah, I've had my fair experiences, and I know it's true. I know it's real. And the sad part is it's 2026, and we're still experiencing it. And it seems like they're trying to re-engage all of this all over again, when really all we want to do is just connect and love people, no matter what the race, no matter what their skin color or anything like that. So I don't know why all of this is popping back up again. We know historically it's been a thing, and we see that in current day time. It seems like they're trying to reignite it. That pisses me off. That makes me angry because we're not going back. Anyway, y'all, outside of that, yes, we did talk about 2 different cases here. And we've seen it for what it was. You know what I mean? And I think the proof is in the pudding when it comes to that. You see, like, unfortunately, and we can be fair, a young black teenager took the life of a young white teenager and got 35 years in jail. Older Asian man that owned a business took the life of a 14-year-old black boy and got off. So that's literally all we're saying here, and literally all we have to sometimes come and talk about. It is the injustices for us. And all we hope and pray and try to fight and speak up about is hopefully one day we can have the justices that are equal and fair across the board. That is it, and that is all. We are not racist. We don't hate anybody. We don't, dislike anybody. I think other people should ask themselves if they have any type of hate or disdain for certain groups and races of people. But it's surely not coming from over here. Sometimes we just have to cover the hard stories and have the hard conversations. So outside of that, y'all, let me leave us with a positive message, okay? So yes, we have covered some incredibly heavy truths today. We've looked at the systems that feel broken, verdicts that feel unjust, and rhetoric meant to divide us. It is easy to leave a conversation like this feeling heavy, frustrated, or tired. Yeah, me. But I want to remind y'all, right, because I want to give you some positivity to pour back into you. I want to remind y'all of something vital before we leave today. The story doesn't end at our pain. Our history, our present, and our futures are defined by our incredible power to overcome in our actions. Every time the world has tried to make us as people feel powerless, we have found a way to build power. Every time they expected us to break, we bonded together and built a bridge to somewhere better. And look at what happens when we stand in our collective strength. We start to have economic power. We choose to intentionalize where our dollars go, and the world notices it. We have community power. When a family is hurting, we have the ability to wrap our arms around them, lift them up, and ensure that they do not walk through the valley alone. We have the power of wisdom. As we said at the beginning of the live, we are learning the art of strategic silence, which I didn't show too much today, but we are practicing it. And focused action. We're no longer wasting our sacred energy on every single distraction, every provocateur, and every critic. We are saving our energy to build our own tables. So, justice isn't just something we wait for in a courtroom to hand us. Justice is also how we love each other, how we protect our children, how we preserve our peace, and how we refuse to let the harshness of the world steal our joy. Your joy is a form of resistance. Your peace is a radical act. Take a deep breath, which I had to do, y'all. Hug the people you love a little bit tighter. Disconnect from the screens, which I'm about to do, if you need to. And remember that tomorrow is a fresh canvas to build, to grow, and to thrive. We are resilient, we are unified, and we are not defeated. Thank you all for being here today. Y'all keep your heads held high, protect your peace, and walk in your power. And that's all I got to say on my positive message for the end of y'all. Thank you, each and every one who joined us, whether you tapped in to kick it and rock it with us in the chat, or you was laying back and just listening from outside. That is also welcome. We appreciate all of the engagement. I'm going to go ahead and end it per usual, like we do, with a few little bops. And we will talk to y'all tomorrow. We have some more things coming up. Peace, love, and blessings to everybody. Happy Sunday. Golden and Imani and Mama Warrior out. Bye.
Yeah. The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep your spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. So right, these are the needs, the bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. That values in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate and celebrate the greed, and plant a poison, suffocating weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the blue, and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. So check the vision, your mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. I got the youth chasing lights, addicted to the feed, ignoring our crumbler, the fundamental need. They building paper idols on a digital stage, putting our future brothers in a virtual cage. Now we gotta break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mighty head in the soul. So we teach about their history, teach about their grace, teaching not the poverty, every single face. Let's go, we are human. Build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the curb. And love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering word. A word of action breaking every chain. A word of power washing out the pain. Father, every single fraction of the community holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look the child in the eyes, tell them that they matter. Tell them this spirit something that no lie can shatter. Tell them knowledge is the weapon, but love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We're gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are real. Oh, yes, we are. Please the children. Near it all. Teach the truth. Reach the youth, plant the roots in the fruit. Oh man, all right to live, all right to live, all right to live. Reach the youth, plant the roots, see the fruit. Ain't no more quiet now. Nah. Tell them run that back. I said, hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but they hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Ooh. We ain't your silence, nah. We ain't your fear. Hey. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You can bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. I'm from the side where the pressure make diamonds, where mothers pray hard cause the system stay violent. Kids learn trauma before they learn signs. Politicians campaign while communities dying. Look, everybody tweeting, everybody streaming, everybody woke till the camera stop beaming. Truth don't trend when the money intervening. That's why the real ones exhausted and screaming. Big change, fake morals, podium capping. Whole lot of hashtags, ain't nobody action. Trying to sell the vision with celebrity distractions. Meanwhile, rights disappear through strategic reactions. Close schools, close polls, close cases. Still see hate written all on their faces. History repeating, just switching the phrases. Different decades, same games, new stages. And they wonder why the people don't trust. Every headline feel dangerous to us. Every promise turned dust, but we still rise up, 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 rise up. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but their hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Hey, we ain't your silence, we ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You could bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. Now everybody playing God with the algorithms, programming narratives and calling it the system. Who decides truth? Who decides wisdom? If the future artificial, who protect the children? Too much rage in the timeline scrolling. Young minds vulnerable, anger overloading. Everybody radical when the fear keep growing and the world stay tense while the missiles stay loaded overseas. War drums, contracts get signed. Oil, power, money always hide behind pride. Poor folks pay while the billionaires glide. And the news turn trauma into primetime vibes. Talk peace with a smirk while the stocks go up. Tell the working class, hold on, but enough is enough. People tired, people broke, people fed up. Still they call us angry every time we stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Listen, it's bigger than left or right, bigger than red or blue. People just wanna live, people just wanna breathe, people just wanna matter. But every generation gotta drag justice uphill, while somebody profits off the chaos. That's the part they don't say out loud. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. True hit harder when the beat line rolls. Can't sell fear to a soul that knows. Power to the people, let the whole world know. We ain't your silence, we ain't your shame. If the people wake up, everything changed. From the city to the globe, hear the whole crowd roar. You can't dim light when the spirit want war. Rise up, even when they try to divide us. Rise up, even when the pressure find us. Yeah, yeah. Still here, still loud, still fighting. Love. They don't know her like I do, nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. Pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blur. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know. She goes like golden, soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by golden, city lights dancing with her heart stay open. open. Long dark roads, but she still stay focused. Everybody watching, but they don't really know her. Like holding too much grace for the games they throwing. Real love, rare, so spirits they got it. Beautiful soul, but the pain left marks in it. Mirror tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace what the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hide from being hidden in the deep. She's still soft-hearted but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love but there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself chasing illusions. She survived the fire. Still glowing through the smoke. Still sad. Still dangerous. Still chosen. She goes back golden. Snow so deep made the whole room notice. Heavy lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pains in the matter. Now the tears got rhythm when she's singing. And they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend too much time looking for love in strangers. Spend too much time. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we still got